top.
Laredo, take us out.
Take her out.
All right. Blast off. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Geek out with us live where the nerdiness will thrive. Buckle up and let's go off-world. Toys, comics, pop culture news, movies, and so much more. Matthew, Jesse, Curtis, and Sean, Brian, guys on this fun-filled tour. Blast off! Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go off-world tonight.
Woo-hoo. What'd you think about your name being in the song?
Yeah, I wasn't sure that that's what was said, so I'm flattered now that I know that it wasn't just a muffled background.
So what I figured out, we did not get the recording from Jeremy, but what I did figure out is during the intro, I can unmute my mic and I can shout over Sean's name and just shout Joe. So there you go.
That's good enough. That's good
the
enough.
makeshift until we get through this. So
The important part is no matter what the song says, I'm here.
That's
And
true.
you know what I want to say to get this started is kick the tires and light the fires. It's time
There
to go
you go.
Off-World. Hell yeah.
And I feel like, you know, we've got a few guests joining us, some 2.0 folks, some lovelies that aren't normally on the 2.0, but here to join us. But before we get rolling, I think we need to address the elephant in the room, and that is that Joe is not a little person. Okay, there's no dwarfism. There's no, any other kind of. He's not a gnome. So any of you folks out there that are watching this, and just because of his camera angle and what did you say last night? Euclidean geometry.
Euclidean geometry, using 3 points of reference to determine the distance. Yes.
Yeah. Any of you geometry guys that are saying that he's short, he is not. Okay. So knock that shit off. So.
When I say 6 feet, I mean 6 feet American. I don't know where you guys got that from, but yeah, that was something that came up a lot at the con, like a lot, like over 30 times. Someone was like, "Why are you so tall?" Or "I thought you'd be shorter." And and when I would say, "Why did you think that?" Nobody had an answer. A couple people said the angle of my camera. I'm like I'm sitting down in a chair. I don't know how the angle of my camera.
Man.
Now
we know. Now we know.
But apparently I look like a short guy, and I didn't. 6 feet isn't tall, but it's taller than what people expect.
You got to be more like 6'1", right?
No.
Really? I thought you were taller than me, and I'm 6 foot.
I might be under 6 foot now,
okay.
just because I'm getting old and everything's shrinking.
Gotcha. Well, let's get some folks on here.
All right.
We're going to talk about some pickups, talk about LegionsCon, all that good stuff. First off, 2.0 member and the creator of most of our thumbnails, Jeff Ray Evans. Jeff, how's it going?
Jeff?
Sir?
What's up, Curtis and Joe?
The Legend Daddy now. This guy comes in, he's just kind of a fan, and he's watching, he's in the comments. Now he's putting thumbnails together. He is the Legend Daddy. People think Jeff, they think leather. So yeah, awesome.
It's finding your niche, right? So the rest of us are really lazy, and we don't want to do things like thumbnails and stuff. So, there was a role to be filled, and Jeff jumped right into it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Next we've got other.
I don't want to hear any more of Curtis's bitching every week.
That probably was
other 2.0 member.
Jeff.
Oz, how's it going, sir?
It's going great, brother. Going great. You know what, Jeff? I have a leather jacket that doesn't fit me anymore. That might be perfect for you. I think it weighs more than you do, though. We'll see.
Right. Next, we can't have Jesse. Jesse's playing D&D. So next best thing, we brought in Jesse's son. It's Dylan. What's up, Dylan?
Everybody?
What's up, Dylan?
I will say, as a short guy, Joe, we would be lucky to have you.
Well, I would hit my head a lot less, I suppose.
Funny. Dylan had me going earlier because I was trying to talk to Jesse. Dylan said, "I'm his son. My dad's not here right now, but I could take a message." That was so fucking great. Next, I guess we'll call him 3.0. I don't know. We got Van in the house. Van, how you doing, sir?
Not bad. Glad to be back from LegionsCon. Bidet is in full effect.
Nice. Yeah, it was nice to get back to the bidet. I will admit that. That one ply was not doing a lot. So
I mean, I tell you, I tried all sorts of things. I'd like the shower wand because about 3 days into it, and I just felt a little less than fresh. And so I took Curtis's suggestion, and I just squatted right down in the shower and just pretended like I had the bidet and used that wand. The water was a little hot.
Very nice.
I may or may not have blistered the tank, but you know what? I made it through it, guys.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Right? Yeah.
You
got to toughen that taint up.
Yeah. Well, I saved the next two guys for last because they're the only two that followed direction and went God's fire for the evening. Look at this. First 2.0 member and an all-around awesome guy, SDL alum, Rygon. What's up,
What's
Ryan?
up, fellas?
Woo! How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty goddamn good now.
Yes. And next we got another God's Fire shirt wearing awesome dude. Somebody that I really just enjoyed hanging out with. We got Dirk in the house. What up, Dirk?
Hey.
Raccoon noises intensify.
I know, right?
How is
so
it
good.
that like the actual member of God's Fire that you have on the screen didn't understand the assignment? I just didn't care. And we also know I can't read, but
the actual member just got home like 5 minutes before the show. That's why I'm actually still wearing my work clothes.
Something seems off. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but something just seems off. Like I'm looking at this. I know Joe was talking about is the Euclidean geometry, and we're just looking at the screen. It just looks like, I don't know. It just looks off. Like we need something else. We need that Brady Bunch, tic-tac-toe, Hollywood Square vibe.
I am feeling a little blue, Curtis. Can you help me with that?
Trevor. What's up? Hold on. Let me
Bidet, everyone.
This.
Bidet.
Let me do this. Let me put the God's Fire. Look at that. Tic-tac-toe. Diagonal. Boom.
Got it.
God's Fire wins.
You win.
The only show where you get like amazing entertainment, like tic-tac-toe with t-shirts.
Yes. That's what we should do.
Right here on OffWorld.
Have half of us wear one shirt, half wear the other, and then based on who logs in first, see if one wins. Yes, we've got a hand down in front. Van, what's up?
Yes, there's I hate to make the glitch in the matrix, but the water pressure is not as it should be, and the temperature's not right. So I'm gonna have to step off, and I'm gonna have to work with the settings. I can't read Japanese. Yeah, I can't read Japanese. I can't read English, but one of these days I'll get this thing dialed in, and it'll stop puncturing me because that's not what I bought it for.
Well, it was nice to have you while we did. Maybe somebody else from the 2.0 crew will jump in here in a bit, and we'll get back to 9 of us. But until then,
I'll nominate
thanks,
Steph Orkin. Thank you, guys.
That
Y'all have a
would be
wonderful
great.
show.
Yeah.
I love you.
See you, Ben.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye, Van.
Later, Van.
Bye.
Bye, Van.
Right. I know normally we start off with pickups, but come on, it was just LegionsCon. Let's talk a little bit about that. I want to talk to some of the first timers first. Let's start with Jeff. Jeff, you go there, you don't bring any leather. Kind of disappointed me. But
he'll have leather next year, Curtis. I promise. I'll bring it with me.
He was wearing leather, just not on the outside.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wink,
Jeff,
wink.
It's in my heart.
Jeff, what were your thoughts on your first LegionsCon?
I'll keep on saying it. Everything and more.
Yeah.
It's just I'm used to going to cons. I'm used to being in big groups of people, different communities throughout my life. But LegionsCon is one hell of a different ride. Just amazing people, amazing experiences. If you haven't been to one, get to one. And we're stoked to save up and get ready for next year.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's one of those we say it with the toys. Like you put a toy in one of those, figures in somebody's hands and it's like game over. Same thing with going to the con. Like once you go to one, you're like, I don't ever want to miss this again. Like this is just too good.
Yeah.
And
I think my wife is more excited than me to go to next year.
I tell you what, she's a little fireball. She's pretty excited. Like we've been in a little bit of a group chat because announced earlier in the day, or I think it was yesterday actually. You guys are going to be joining us on Shooting the Shelf on Sunday, right?
Yeah, with a couple more.
Yeah, with a few more. We're gonna have some. It's going to be a couple extravaganza, and Jesse.
Well, he's got his goat, so
yeah.
Kind of a couple.
So
I think that's a quest in Skyrim.
So speaking of first timers, Joe, hit us with it. First of all, are you coming back next year? That's the most important question.
Yeah, I'm sold. It was Jeff said it. We everything. I had an image in my mind of what it was going to be, and it was going to be pretty cool, and it just blew that completely out of the water. Like from the moment I showed up to the time that I left, it was just like this constant bombardment of awesome the whole time. And I even said to people like the toys are cool, and it was nice spending money, but I could have gone to the show with $0 and had an absolute wonderful time. I mean, the different groups of people in the different areas all day, just you because I had this plan. I would go in and I would buy something. I didn't want to carry it around with me if it was a decent size. Well, I'll just run up to my room real quick and drop it off and run back. You're not doing anything quick at that con because you're going to bump into 5 people on the way up and 10 people on the way back, and everybody was stopping me. People actually asked me if it was okay to take a picture with me, and like I was a celebrity, and it's like surreal, like what? Like take my picture. It doesn't matter, So I was floating pretty high for a few days after the show. It was just all kinds of awesome.
That's awesome. That's the first time I've heard you actually commit to it. Up until now, I've heard you say, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try. I'm going to this and that. Like, this is the first time I've actually heard you say, yes, I'm going to be there, which is the commitment we're looking for. So
Right. Well, we all have real lives and things, financial commitments and things like that can make things difficult. But I discovered that you can actually rob a bank with a knife. They'll just give you the money, right?
That's how they do it over in England. Yeah.
Sure. Should be fine. I should be able. Yeah.
Awesome. Also, by the way, Joe was on a great show last night. Punk with Toys. Him and Lawrence had a good talk. It was really good. Like I was talking to Oz earlier. I said, I've known Joe now for a couple of years, and we've been spent a lot of time together. And there was some stuff I learned about Joe last night, and I think that's a good interview. If you can learn something about a good friend of yours on a show like that, I think that's cool. So
it was the format of the show. So I usually don't talk about myself because why would anybody give a shit? But that was the format of the show, was to actually talk about your life. So, if you're interested how I became the wonderful human being that I am now, you might learn something. So
yeah, check that out. I've been kind of sad ever since we lost our tic-tac-toe. Somebody decided to jump in to help us out. It is the the Dorklayer himself, Bill Dranowski.
Hey,
What's up, Bill?
What's
up, guys?
this guy.
What's going on?
Back together.
Yeah.
Bill was my hero from the con. I got to say, a lot of cool stuff happened. And I know Bill tries to be humble about it, but he totally got me into the D&D session and
Nice.
scored some
Not the guy
serious
that picked
points
him
with
up
the
from the
DM.
airport.
So a little behind the scenes on that. I tried everything I could. I talked to Cameron. I talked to Jeremy, but I'm not anybody. So they were just like, yeah, kid, go away. But then, Bill came out and he's just like, hey, by the way, I'm the Dorklayer. I don't know if you've ever seen your Figure Obscura releases. That's me. Get this guy in. And they were like, yes, sir.
I need you to get a guy in.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Just like that.
So let's hear from everybody else, like, and either throw up your hand like Van or just shout out, like, just initial thoughts of the con, like your experience this past weekend. We got Oz. What's up?
Well, it was my first time too. This was my first year.
Oh, I thought you were there last. No, that's right. You went to PowerCon last year, not.
Yeah, PowerCon was where I made it. I was supposed to get to LegionsCon last year, but work was all like, nah, bro, you can't take off. And I was like, son of a week. So in any case, this year I threw my boss in a closet and wrapped him up full of duct tape, used his computer, made sure I was approved for the time off, and
may or may not now be one of your skulls in your collection.
I'm not talking that much about it. I can't confirm or deny that, but there is a strong possibility. But I've been to a lot of different conventions over the years. Baltimore is home to one of the biggest used to be the home to one of the biggest anime conventions with Otakon. Went to that for several years. I've been to PAX East for video game conventions. Been to GameStop manager conventions, which is like a mini E3 for anybody that's into the video game world. And just more recently, I've started doing the Toy Con thing with, PowerCon, hitting up Maryland Toy Expo. That doesn't even count as a con. That's like a one-day flea market. But, this was the best convention experience that I have ever been to. And it's overwhelming. Because there's just so much cool stuff to look at everywhere you turn. And, just everybody being there, most of us, seen each other in the Cabal. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, so I'm not always in the Cabal, but, I try to pop over when I can. And, it's just incredible. The biggest takeaway for me is that I want to get out there earlier next year. So before everybody's setting up on Friday and doing all that kind of stuff, maybe I can hang out with people then, and also staying that extra day. Our plans got changed suddenly on Sunday, and I had to leave even earlier than I was planning to, and that really kind of bummed me out. So I was running around for like 2 hours straight just trying to get selfies with everybody, and then had to hit the road. So
yeah, I really do enjoy coming in a little bit earlier. And just kind of slow rolling the event. The first day we had like 4 or 5 of us in the lobby, and then the second day it's more like 20, and then it just like keeps growing and growing. But the
trajectory seems to be that the Mythic Week grows by one day, every year for more and more people. It's like now there's a lot of people coming in Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday was the new Thursday.
A lot of people
this
coming
year,
in
Tuesday.
I think Monday is going to be, it's going to be a few people hanging out Monday.
Yeah, for sure. I also, the amount of hugs, I probably had more hugs last weekend than if you added up all the hugs that I've ever given my kids. I think I did more this past weekend.
I can confirm that myself.
Yeah. And it was
Curtis,
funny,
you were my first hug. I was just waiting in line to get my badge, and here comes Curtis. It's like, I was
running to people before they're even getting stuff out of their car. They're like, just give me a second. I've been driving for hours.
Smothering people.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny going into that Joe's like, I'm not a hugger. I'm this big tough guy, and I don't hug people. And
that lasted
I
for
saw
all of
Joe
like
giving
2
so many
seconds.
hugs. Joe was just like a little cuddly teddy bear.
Curtis might be exaggerating a little bit on my cuddliness.
It was like 2 seconds, and Joe was just another big teddy bear.
I want to go back to so the comment about Joe's height being a surprise.
Yeah.
Your height wasn't a surprise, Joe. Your youthful looks, like, I don't know what it is like on screen or whatever, but you look a lot younger in person. Like, you have a very youthful face.
Really?
I don't know. That threw me off when I first met
It must
you,
be all the years of smoking cigarettes.
And looking at mine, like, I'm like, well, how do you look so young, dude?
So
preservatives and nicotine.
Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. I drink a lot of coffee. I eat whatever I want. You know, a lot of unhealthy foods. Luck. Yeah.
I think that's
just a good regimen. Good
genetics, maybe.
I think that's a better compliment, Joe, than last night when my kid said you look like a Mario Brother distant cousin named Sad Giuseppe.
Sad Giuseppe. Yeah. The Mario Brothers look pretty young. I'll take it. Both. But yeah, that's actually, Bill, something that I was not expecting anyone to say, because I don't feel like, you know, I look young.
Yeah,
but maybe it's just I just don't feel young.
It's hard to accept when someone tells you look young, but like, I don't know. There's just something different versus your online, the way you look online on the screen, on the videos, and then in person, you just seem a lot. You just look. Your face looks a lot younger to me.
And much like Stabby too.
It might. Thanks, Curtis.
Yeah, very.
It might have been being at LegionsCon too,
just
because I tell you what, I felt 10 years younger in that environment. You know, like as little sleep as I got, if I did that and went to work, I would have been miserable. But like, I was just floating through the con, like, let's do this. So
I need a nap on a regular basis, like daily, and like I got through 5 days with like 4 hours of sleep every night, standing on my feet. I don't know how the hell I did that.
I was thinking, if you know, this would be for any of you Legion's Quest folks. I was thinking back to the Lady Belush with her ring and stuff, and I was kind of thinking of that as Trevor. Like, Trevor's really like thousands of years old, but each time he goes to LegionsCon, he like saps a bunch of life. He gets younger.
Everybody gets like about 5 days older, and I get all that younger.
Makes
you don't even notice it. It's real subtle. It's real.
That's what the blue light in the photos are. It's actually draining our life force.
All right, bye. Bye, everyone. Good night.
No.
But that is a shout out for folks to watch Legion's Quest.
Absolutely,
which should get interesting, by the way, when Joe's going to kill
on
us
this
all
channel.
Start over.
Right.
Right.
Dylan, how about you? Your dad brought you right to the con. Your dad, Jesse.
Actually, I brought Joe.
Oh, okay.
He did.
Yes, he picked.
I did.
He
so
did.
all this Joe talk wouldn't happen if it wasn't for me.
You proper credit, yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And what did your parents?
Flex
What did your parents say? Because that was my favorite story, I think.
Oh, they thought I was going to get murdered. Every
Wait,
time
after
I say,
meeting Joe?
I'm going to Ryan's house. I'm going to visit Jesse at his house. I'm going here. Whatever. They always think I'm going to get murdered.
Well, Jesse's house. I mean,
he wouldn't show me the basement either, and Curtis can confirm he wasn't showing the basement.
He didn't show me the basement either. I went there.
But I mean,
what's funny about that is the first year I went to LegionsCon, my parents thought the same thing about me traveling with Billy Beige. And really,
that was
insightful. Yeah, that was insightful. Actually,
I should have probably listened to that. So,
Dylan, take a lesson from Joe and myself, because apparently we always go around strapped. Man, always have a little blade on you, just a little one.
I had one to make up for Joe not having one.
There you go.
There you go. I appreciate you.
Okay, so that of course was a horribly stupid joke that I made, right? That just the community just grabbed onto, and I bet you about and I bet you about 30 people offered me a knife to use their knife. Like, people were walking up and like just it would be on their belt. They just lift up their shirt. Want to use my knife?
I want to know if you walked into the armory and anybody flinched. Did they just like go?
So what I started.
The guy that was standing by the door ran.
Joe's in the armory. Joe's in the armory.
Yeah, because what I started to tell people is that I'm not going to touch a knife the entire time I'm in New Jersey, because if someone gets stabbed in the parking lot, everybody's going to be just like, well, Joe's the knife guy. You know? So it was like I was spreading butter with a spoon. Like, I wouldn't even pick up a butter knife. Like,
well, At one point during the "My wife is going to kill me," there was a call for an EMT, and I thought maybe somebody, you know, Joe couldn't get that final gold piece from the armory, and
I was in the room. Gold pieces, it's ridiculous.
I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Joe came up to me because I picked up some pieces for him in the armory, some of the gold pieces, and he said, "I've got so many gold peaches, I can make a peach tree." Like people were just going up to him and just offering him their gold pieces, like as like a tribute to not get murdered,
not get stabbed.
Exactly.
Which, if you had paid attention to the joke, I said I was going to rob children. Adults can fight back. I'm only robbing kids. So.
Yeah, that's much better, by the way, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Way easier.
Know your strengths, Joe. Know your strengths.
Rygon, obviously you're going to be on with us as well this weekend for the couples episode of Shooting the Shelf, where it's going to be all couples on the screen and Jesse. So how did your con experience go?
Dude, from start to finish, I had a big old grin on my goddamn face. It was such an awesome time, and meeting quite a few newcomers. And I heard from Amber that a couple people were afraid to approach me because I look mean. I can't help that I look like an asshole, but I'm not.
What?
It's just my face.
No. I didn't get that.
Hi, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
You can't help it.
Hey, get used to being on one camera together. So.
Together.
I told them Sunday they can't have separate cameras because we don't have enough spots in the screen.
we worked it out. We figured it out. We're all good.
Awesome. Any kind of standouts for you, Ryan, as far as the weekend? Anything that like just really pops out as a major memory?
The My Wife is Gonna Kill Me live show. That was an absolute riot. It was such a fun time, dude.
Yeah.
Even though we lost.
Yeah, we did lose. So, but that's all right. That's all right. Dirk.
Whoa. We spent my whole slot talking about Joe. I didn't get to say how I felt about the.
Say whatever you want.
Dylan,
we got this hand raise thing. I don't know if you've seen the enablers or heard about them. Yeah, just throw your
Dylan,
hand up.
I was your con experience. Hello.
That's true. I did hang out with Joe most of the con, and Robo. That was the big one. I got to have dinner with Robo.
Was fun. Yeah,
I'm here. I'm in the square. What do you mean that was the big one? We're gonna talk after the show.
Right here.
I'm right here.
Before the show started, it was meeting Robo in person. Joe, I feel like I knew you already.
Joe,
Also,
are you starting to feel smaller?
I'm just trying to bring him down to my size.
Joe's height shrank 2.5 inches that
Two
day.
sizes that day.
Ryan in the middle.
So I was gonna say also the SDL crew being together, but Mama LeBron. Come on,
Mama LeBron.
What a gem!
Heck yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mama
They were
LeBron.
on at intern. They're going through the armory experience together, and he's like pointing out to her like which parts she has available to pick next and what she needs to do. And it was the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, I got to take a picture of this, and I sent it to him right away. That was just cool, man. I mean, and we're going to talk Sunday about, what it's like being a married couple at LegionsCon, and obviously people are bringing their kids. But LeBron showing up with his mom, that was a surprise, and it was a good one. So, yeah, cool. Okay, Dirk. Now, if Dylan doesn't yell at me, tell us a little bit about your experience at LegionsCon and some of maybe the good finds that you came across.
A lot of good finds. Yeah. This was the first year that I actually went a couple days early. Last couple of years I've gone like I get in Friday night or so, Friday afternoon kind of thing. So I'm watching G-Con like on my phone, like trying to update Instagram, this and that. So it was nice to actually be present for that. Was at intern, which was incredible. Definitely, if you haven't had the chance to do intern, get in the lottery.
Favorite part
awesome.
of intern?
Trevor's photo session. Trevor's
photo session was actually super informative.
That was really good.
That was really good.
You can't be watching Eric.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I came close, but like
Yeah.
What is with Jim's tour? I've heard everybody say Jim's tour.
He gives
Jim's
you a tour
just
of the
great at
whole
giving a tour.
Yeah. He gives you a tour of the whole place, including the prop company, and you get to see all this great stuff that's been used in Broadway plays and movies and TV shows, and it's pretty
like
cool.
A box of bongs.
Sometimes you get to see special behind the scenes things that maybe you're not supposed to see.
Things in progress, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy machines, like crazy printers and different like things they do for fabrication and stuff. It's just like really cool. Like it's pretty good. It's a good tour.
Yeah. Well, and this was your second time, right, Bill? Like you went 2 years ago and then this year?
I was there last year and this
you were
year.
there last year too?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So over the course of, the last few interns and stuff, can you just tell us a little bit about like what the experience was like the first time versus this time and that kind of stuff?
I'll say this. It's really fun to go a second year, to go 2 in a row. Because the first year you're it's the same thing with like just LegionsCon in general. You're sort of like, you're kind of like deer in the headlights. You're just like sensory overload. There's so much. And then that second time through, you can kind of step back a little and you kind of know what to expect. And then you can like absorb a little bit more, right? Like, especially the tour. And like that was one where it was like a whirlwind the first year, but then kind of like going back through it again and going through those same spaces again, being able to kind of like see more stuff. So that's kind of what I really appreciated about going 2 years in a row. It was just getting that like little extra reinforcement and just yeah,
that's cool. Anything else for you that just kind of stuck out throughout the weekend? Just like a memory that you took with you?
Oh, for me, it was hands down getting to meet Chris in person. Chris Marino was co-host of the Dork Lair. I'm trying to like rope him back in. I've never really like given up on him being on there, but he had to step back. But we've been podcasting since late 2017. So it's well over 5 years, like 6+ years. And that was the first time we ever met in person.
That's awesome.
And I still haven't met Larry yet, and we were hoping he would come.
I thought you were going to get Larry there. I thought you had him like real close,
Yeah. The original goal was PowerCon last year or this year when they were going to they had
canceled. Yeah.
They had not yet announced that they were delaying it, and we were like, let's do it because it just looked like such a fun time in 23. And then they canceled it. So, but yeah, hopefully next year, all 3 of us.
Awesome. And Trevor, other than sapping the life force out of everybody there at LegionsCon, you also, they also, the reveal happened. All these things that you've had to keep secret were shown to folks. You were able to finally talk to people about a dragon, about the D&D stuff. Tell us a little bit about how that was to be able to finally talk to folks.
Oh my God. I mean, first of all, the D&D stuff, I kept wanting to tell you guys so bad. I mean, I don't know. That was like the
every
more
time he
thing.
died, he was like, it's not going to be like this in the future.
Because I'm not going to be this I'm not going to be a wizard anymore. I just kept, I don't know. There was things that came up during the game and I was just like, oh, just tell them. But the dragon, of course, like, my God, hearing everybody like, how big is the dragon? When did you photograph the dragon? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's always a relief, especially with something like that with so much speculation. Usually, the waves have a little bit of speculation to them. People think about it. And sometimes I'm sitting there back going like, you guys are thinking way too big. You know what I mean? Sometimes, in this case, I'm thinking you guys are not prepared for this. So it was fantastic. And the reception to the whole wave, really. I mean, there was a lot going on there and all the other stuff around it, the sideshow stuff, the game, the legacies or infinite, whatever, all that stuff was incredible to have everybody find out about that stuff as always. For me, like meeting new people who've never been there before. I've met Robo before at SDCC. Robo came up to me at the end of the show, and I'm like, "So, are you coming back?" And he's like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna try and do my robo." Oh, hell yeah. And then he said, "Listen, if I could only do one con a year, this would be it." That's huge, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's over SDCC or anything else that he goes to, you know? So that was really cool to hear. Hanging out with my toy photography peeps was incredible. Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick robo story, because I thought it was just hilarious. He's at the Armory Experience. He's at intern. We're the first group to go into the Armory, and he's going through it, and he is just stuck. Like, for two reasons. Number one, everybody wants to talk to him. Like, everybody wants to go and say hi and welcome into the community. You know how everybody is. But then also, like, he's just looking at the options and he has no idea what to do. Like, he's just stone. And he's really
clueless about this stuff. He really is.
Yeah. And he's just like, I just don't know. He's only going to build one figure, but he's like, I just don't know which options to go with. And I like this, but this one doesn't go with that. And I think
he's a customizer, so I think that got into his head. Like, is he picking the right thing? You know what I mean?
I think one of the things he was getting stuck on was the head. Like the way they have it set up, it's like the head's first and then the other.
I wasn't the only one, and I told them you got to put the head at the end, man, because I don't want to. I want to pick the head that goes with everything else that I bought. You got to start with the torso out, with the arms, and then the legs, and then exactly.
Well, he liked.
So they did that.
I think it was the green leather torso that he liked, but he didn't like the green armored helmet that went with it. And I'm like, listen, that if you're going to replace one part on this, the first part you're going to replace is probably the head. I said, you're going to see a lot of great art this weekend. There's going to be a lot of painted heads. If you replace one part, that's going to be it. So pick the head last, grab everything else first. And he finally, I think we had 2 minutes left before we had to switch sessions, and he finally finished his figure and got it done. But yeah, it was awesome. So sorry to interrupt you. I just
no. He had a great time, and we were talking to him, me and Greg McTavish. We're talking to him at one point, and he's like, we're like, what'd you think of the floor? He's like, I hardly got on the floor. This was like Saturday. He's like, I couldn't get out of the hallway. I was in the Armory. I did the thing, because people were just like talking his ear off or taking selfies with him and stuff. So he finally got in there on Sunday, and I really think he had a great time. But yeah, seeing all my toy photography peeps, people I've never met before, Alberto Hernandez, and my friend TJ, who, another 1/6 collector, that dude walked out of there with a car full of Mythic Legions. Okay, so he is one of us now. And the only other thing that I want to bring up is, which I thought was amazing, it was one among many highlights, but that 1,000 swigs, man, that was a cool ass thing, man. Fun? It was just such a cool side piece to everything else going on, and it was really just cool because it was so community oriented. Terrence did a great job putting that.
I won a prize during that. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, what'd you win?
Yeah. I got this really awesome photographer is going to take a shot of one of my customs. So
no way.
Dude,
no way.
And I heard this gentleman on his show on Monday kind of talking about that, or Tuesday, I think you guys did a stream. And he was telling his version of the story, which is a little bit different than what I would call the truth. So here's my recollection of how things went down.
Just to preempt you a little bit, Curtis, that because we had been in the My Wife Was Going to Kill Me show, and somebody had called for an EMT during that show, right? So I come into the main hall, and Curtis goes, "Did you hear what happened?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then he tells me this story. So yeah.
So
I can't wait to
1,000 swigs is going on, which ended up being a little less than 300, but still very awesome. The creativity was unmatched. Cool. Never seen anything like it in my life. And they give out some prizes that Wolf King had donated, and then we're waiting on Jeremy. And we're waiting on Jeremy, and we're waiting on Jeremy, and we're waiting on Jeremy, because Jeremy put together the schedule, but he just can't follow a schedule. And so even though the 1,000 swigs was supposed to go on in the time that he had put, he didn't show up. So we're waiting.
Was this when the factory,
the dragon prototype?
Dragon,
he was showing off the butter dragon. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I to kill some of the awkwardness, I'm like, you know what? Let's do another giveaway. I will give away the custom that I made, the cosmic swig. And so we pull a name, and it ends up being Eric Miller's daughter gets it, right? So then somebody after that goes, you know, and I kind of hear this thought in his head, which is like, I'm not going to be outdone by Curtis. Fuck that. And then all of a sudden this guy goes, hey, I tell you what, I'll give something away too, which is much better than that last guy. I will do a photo shoot for whoever's name we draw on their custom. And he goes to the bowl, and I'm standing right next to him, and I'm like, oh, please God, please God, please God. And sure enough, Curtis Ackerman.
There's 300 of those things in the bowl.
Yes.
I made 12. Yeah.
I made 9.
Yeah, Joe had 12 of them in there.
Yeah.
You had 12 chances out of 300.
Yeah. I like to think that I made that happen by my
you did.
generosity. My generosity caused Trevor.
I think it was
to one-up
witchcraft,
me,
actually. Yeah.
Which then, so, but at the end of the day, Trevor's going to do a photo of my custom. I couldn't be happier. I was bragging about it to Emil because Emil sold him all those Avengers, and they've never gotten a photograph.
All right, good night, folks. Goodbye. Thanks for having me on.
And no, seriously, like as I'm
under no obligation. I paid good money for those.
I was like covered in goosebumps. I'm so excited about it. And then it's going to go off to Eric's daughter. He's excited as well. So it's just really cool. It was a great event. The creativity, the amount of different stuff. It wasn't just like some dots and repaints and pops and swaps. Like there was some crazy stuff on that table.
Hedgehog action with the DJ.
Yeah.
DJ Swig and the music that he composed for was freaking
awesome.
cool, man.
Absolute favorite out of all the custom swigs is that DJ booth because
Keithlin had her crocheted swig.
Oh, the crochet swig.
Yeah, I loved the
so cool.
I loved the like outside of Legion's swigs, like the cutout and the crochet.
Well, yeah, I told Dusty on the show that he got to do the cutout, and he did the cutout. He did the magnet.
Dusty did the two-dimensional.
It's great. So cool, man.
Yeah, it was
really
great.
Cool. Man. I hope we do the same thing next year. I hope we do it until we get to 1,000 swigs. And then
I would say like people should save. People should like if they can save their swigs, like and bring your original swig back, or your 13, Joe, and then also bring more so that like we can eventually get to that 1,000. I think it's possible.
Real quick, friend of the channel, friend of also Legion's Lounge, coming in with the impartial information. Rob Zamora says, I was recording the whole time. Love you, Trevor. But what Curtis is saying is exactly how it went down. I saw Trevor's face, and he was not having any of Curtis's
Rob.
So Trevor one-upped him.
No, Rob. We'll talk later. But no,
I was
trying to kill time because we're all sitting around going,
all right, who paid Rob?
Where's Jeremy? Where's Jeremy? And we've given away all the prizes. So I was like, all right, how about this? That's all I did. It had nothing to do with one-upping Curtis.
Gotcha. So what
I didn't even know that happened. I wasn't paying attention.
My favorite comment was when Trevor says, I'm going to light the blue shit out of your custom, Curtis.
Believe me.
He's got plans.
I got plans.
Okay, so what I'd like to do now, I know we normally start with this, but just kind of go through some pickups, and clearly we're not going to be able to go through everybody's pickups because I did one the other day and it took 2 hours. So, maybe limit ourselves to.
I was going to pop in between calls during work. I get off of work and you were just wrapping up. I'm like, damn.
We gave away some exclusives. We gave away a fauna too. We had a good time. So, Jeff, appreciate you joining me for that. But yeah, maybe we limit to like 4 or 5 things that you picked up. We'll go ahead and start with the man next to me here who got tribute this weekend. The member of God's Fire, Joe Gonzalez. Joe, what do you got?
I guess I'll start with that. So Len was nice enough. He had upsized the custom head that Emil designed, and Emil posted today too on his YouTube and in the Cabal. Steven wrote the bio for myself and Kent's characters, and it's really cool. And
isn't that an awesome story? Oh my god!
And he reads it. It was really good. It's one of the first times I ever rooted for the bad guy. So, Len was nice enough to give me this. I was terrified about bringing it home in my suitcase, but made it through unscathed. So this will be proudly perched somewhere in my display.
I think I was asking you right before the show, but we had to start it. Are you planning on painting that, or are you leaving that as is?
No, I'll leave this as is. I'll paint the set, but this is just, well, it's solid gold, baby. So I'm leaving
you know what you got to do, Joe? You got to replace that Talon fighter on top of Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, just put your head up there.
Just put that.
Put it right
I was
there.
thinking
So
about like,
always.
because that mask is just there because I don't have anywhere to put it right now. I'll find some place for that, and it might go on that little parapet up there.
Oh yeah. Take off the chest piece and pop it right on top.
It was a little odd though when Joe found out about his tribute. Like I know Joe doesn't cry because he's a manly man, but I think there was like some dust or something in the room that got in his eyes. Maybe there's some allergy issues because it seemed like there was a little water there. So
he was allergic to Jersey.
That is completely untrue. That's false. I was extremely flattered and blown away, gobsmacked. It was a surreal experience, but there were no tears. So
okay.
Curtis tried to poke me in the eye, and I
Are you
wasn't
saying
crying.
there's something
Like,
wrong
it's not
with
happening.
crying,
So.
Joe? Jeez.
No, there's
Joe
nothing
gets
wrong with it.
cry.
I just don't do it.
We did an episode about movies that make you cry, and Joe's like, there are none.
That's
I
the
almost
joke.
cried.
That's
I
the
almost
joke.
cried when Cornboy was tearing up. I was like, oh
gosh,
choke.
yeah.
I was choking up for sure.
That's rough.
For sure.
All right. What
And
else
then
you got?
Van Johnson, or not Van,
Jordan?
the other purple gang.
Jordan.
Jesus Christ.
Jordan, pour some.
I don't think it's Jordan Jesus Christ. He does look like Jesus Christ.
He does look like Jesus Christ.
And Jordan. Yeah.
I want to say maybe acts like him a little bit too, because that guy is super generous.
Very wholesome.
And gave me his custom that he made for the display.
Nice.
So,
wow.
This is Gonsalves, the character in God's Fire. This is Jordan's version of it, and he gave me this, and that was super freaking awesome and cool of him to do, because it is an amazing custom.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and just blown away. Super generous, super awesome. And then he told me after that if he had known it was for me, instead of the two swords, he would have just been carrying one knife. So, which I thought that was pretty fantastic.
Little backstory on that too, because that kind of it finished late to where we had about maybe 3 or 4 weeks left before the con, and I know Len had reached out to several different artists. Matt Stein did one for the Kent figure. Jordan did one for the Joe figure. Steven did one for the Kent figure, and then I did one for both because I'm not going to be outdone by any of those other customizers. So
wouldn't have it any other
but
way.
Curtis didn't give me his, so
of course he did.
I'm sorry, what now?
You didn't give me yours.
I did give you mine. I told you could have mine.
I didn't get it then.
Oh, well, you need to get it. I'll get Len to ship it to. I told you and Kent both that you could have yours.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say it, I think I remember that.
Yeah, I'll have to get with Len. I'll have him ship it to you. Yeah, you were supposed to take that too.
Wait until I order something, and then he can send it to me with parts. No sense wasting the shipping. Then
good on you, Curtis. Good on you.
Of course, a very cool Carver Customs. There's 2 of them, but these were super cool. Got a brazier from him. This was actually the first thing I bought. I really wanted it.
You brought it over. I know you grabbed it because you brought it over to me. Remember, I told you that was his stand. We had to give him his stand back.
Oh no!
Because he had the same stands that you use.
Is this custom?
Okay? I haven't unpacked yet. It might be in there. I'm not sure.
Joe was just so not impressed with my custom that he was like, whatever.
Yeah, well, I got like 6 hours of sleep in 5 days, so
All right, that's fine.
I was running on empty, but I'm curious now. I actually want to unpack so I can see if it's in there. Oh God, if I lost it. But this incredible detour throne with the flames and it lights up. I haven't.
That's so good.
It just amazing, just an amazing piece. So I had to get that. That was actually the first thing that I picked up. Went by Immortal Collections. I love their Oni torso. the ogre scale Oni torso, and paid a little extra. He's gonna send me the hands and feet because those are awesome also, and some little action figure hammer pants that his wife has made, which were cool.
Heinrich here says, Curtis, when you do my custom, I shall cherish it. Thank you, Heinrich. I appreciate that.
Stop kissing his ass. Damn it. Anyways, Pat Boyle, we played D&D together in Cameron's game that Bill got me into, and had a ton of fun. Pat's a super awesome guy, and when everything was closing down, he saw me and he said, "Hey, I had a lot of fun playing D&D with you," and gave me this painted scaphoid head. So
yeah,
that meant a lot, just because, you know, friendships through D&D is something that you know, I'm not new to, but definitely treasure very much. So that meant a lot to me.
I want to throw something out real quick on Patrick Boyle. Let me in you there, Joe, for a second.
Sure.
Because Patrick's been in our community for a long time. Great dude, amazing artist, but he's very understated. Like he's not one of these guys that's on a bunch of shows. He's not out there just like self-promoting and all this kind of stuff. This con, he got a lot more attention than he has in the past. You know, say what you will about Purple Gang, good or bad. They have made that dude into a superstar. And people were going up and asking for autographs and wanting to see his stuff. And he just, I think he blew up a little bit this con. And I just, you know, want to say thanks to Purple Gang out there if they're not too drunk and they're watching, because you guys made Patrick's weekend. For somebody that's been out there and doing this for a long time, you know, getting some light shed on him was awesome. So, and overdue.
Absolutely. Good dude. I picked up the Euro Legion custom heads.
Nice.
Hopefully I'll paint them up eventually someday. Those are pretty awesome. Love those. And of course with the throne, Steph threw in this amazing flaming sword to go with it. That was super cool. And I was part of the amazing customizer studio, even though Maverick hurt my feelings. I did get this really cool Wolf King bust.
Nice.
That's not going to really focus. But
there it is. You got it.
So, all right.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. So that was super fun to take part in, and kind of a challenge for me because I'm super nearsighted. I usually, when I'm customizing, I wear my glasses and I just take them off so I can see what I'm doing. So this was kind of like painting blind because I had my contacts in. I couldn't really see, and it turned out all right. So that was really cool. And last but not least, I picked up this fat ogre scale torso from Anthony Houseal. Comes with some cool bracers, but unfortunately,
resin right there.
Oh yeah, it's chunky.
That looks normal scale to me. I don't know why you got to call it names. So.
No comment. But
just wondering when somebody stole a scan of my torso and started customizing it. Jeez,
there was a casualty of travel. It came with this really cool handle, hammer, and the handle broke off. But I can glue that back on. So it
just
will
glue
be
it. Put
pin it.
Yeah, but you got to put like a little piece of like paper clip or something. Yeah, like, drill a little hole in one end and the other, strengthen it.
I'll just glue it. I don't play with my customs. It'll just be on a shelf.
He just puts them on the shelf and then lets the shelf fall and has them all break.
I still haven't looked in that box, so I'm not sure if there's any. I'm terrified. I might just put the lid on that box and bury it. So,
well, Joe may know about Euclidean geometry, but he does not know how to count to 4 or 5. So now that he's done, we'll go ahead and throw Jeff up here. Jeff, what 4 or 5 things do you have to show us?
Stop complaining, Curtis. Everybody loved it.
So me being the cosmic guy, I didn't get a lot of cosmic stuff because I'm building up the mythics because I've got all the cosmic until the new waves come out. But there were a lot of cosmic exclusive stuff at the con, and so I picked up the new cosmic mouse pack from 4 Horsemen.
Nice.
with some great 1.6 shooter photography on it.
He's pretty good. I
Yeah.
like that guy. Yeah.
Speaking of 1.6 shooter, I picked up the Cosmic one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
baby.
that.
Right on.
With signature.
Nice. Nice.
I
What you
didn't
got in
even
that
think
bad
about
boy?
that. Damn it. That's such a good idea, Jeff.
That's what Bill and Nate said at the table. Hey, that's a good idea. Everybody should get it signed.
What you got in that, Jeff? You fill it with cottage cheese?
Oh no, it's empty. It's empty.
Okay.
Nice and empty. You know.
Gotcha. Okay.
No cottage cheese. Ew. So with that lunchbox, I got the new calendar.
Yeah, I gotta get that, man. You gotta get a calendar for sure.
Because
you know, hey, you know what Darla told me when she got home? She goes, "Have you looked through it?" What do you mean look through it? You don't do no.
You don't skip
Come on.
ahead.
You don't skip ahead. That's against the rules, man.
Damn, Jeff, I just got to say, I'm 3 out of the 5 so far, so this is making me feel pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to be on tonight. So.
Stop kissing his ass.
Jeff's moving into Trevor's house next week. So,
so his table
Wait,
mate.
I think
you can fit on the 1.6 shelf.
Got the book.
Yeah,
there you go.
Very
good.
Very good.
nice.
And I only got
Such a good book.
where is it? One signature. So I got
Oh no!
I got
The guy in Sweden. You didn't get the guy in Sweden.
That's a hard one too.
Or I send it over to him and then it gets sent back. I don't know.
Hopefully we can get him to come to
Or
Mesquite
you
Con.
just go to LegionsCon next year, right? And bring
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Sure,
Another
you
LegionsCon
have to go
thing
now.
I need to do. And then I don't have the shirt on me, but I got the package deal, so I've got both pins.
Nice.
Those Solar Flare pins.
Thank you.
And moving down the lane, because I did a lot of pre-buys, so I made sure I got to the people I wanted stuff from. I got the
Nice.
tree.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
Got the
Oh,
2-pack,
both of
huh?
them. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, but I got
But
the
wait.
T-shirt package
You
and
use
a
Billy
magnet.
Mazos?
Nice.
So that's a magnet for
That's cool.
the fridge.
Nice.
Beauty.
There's 4 Horsemen figures and some other custom stuff, and then I went to the Goliath, got some Goliath.
Hedgehog says the Christmas book
I
is
love that.
Trevor
I
adjacent.
love that. And actually, the coloring books they were Dusty and Andrew right next to me, so they are also Trevor.
Yeah,
adjacent. So
awesome.
that's 5 out of 5.
Literally
There you
adjacent.
Just went down the line.
Nice. All right. Well, let's throw. Oz
I
over
do
here.
gotta say I wasn't able to grab it. Sorry, Oz, just
No,
interrupted.
you're fine.
Trevor was super cool, and he got me a D Blake Makes D&D symbol.
Oh, nice.
Super awesome. It's
Love
in
those
my
signs.
suitcase somewhere. I thought it was in this box, and it wasn't. But
With
thank you,
Curtis.
Trevor. That was
Yeah,
a super
probably
awesome
on top
gift.
of my
Should've.
custom that you don't care about.
Yeah,
Got a
it's
3-door
somewhere,
shelf.
Curtis. I swear, someone has it.
Gotta love those signs.
All right, Oz.
All right.
yeah, those
So
are
for me, it's funny. By the end of the weekend, I really didn't spend any money on getting a lot of stuff for myself. But so I got a whole armory experience that I have yet to actually touch. That's going to be getting built tomorrow night on the Clubhouse Live. Got to do it
Nice.
there.
How many did you do? 2 or
Just
4?
one.
Or
Just did
one?
the
Okay.
one. Just did the one. You know.
He's like Oz is like that the Charlie on the Chocolate Factory. Like he just bought 1 bar. All the kids around him are buying like 5 and 10.
Pretty much, yeah.
Taking
yeah.
cases of them home. He's like, I just need 1 bar. So,
But it'll be the best one ever.
right.
Did you
You're
buy
damn
10?
right. It's going to be the most awesome one out there. Come on.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So this one right here, this was a big thing for me. And this is thanks to Joe.
Oh yeah, nice.
Finally got the Shadow Equidron. So, Joe, thank you again. This was my first
pleasure,
takeaway
bud.
Friday night. It was awesome. And so I've ended up with 3 Ninian infantries. But the best part about it is I bought one, and then good friend Brick, when he went through as a vendor, he found out he could get 2. So he got me one as a Christmas gift. That one I'm keeping. I will be giving one away on the channel tomorrow night. So if anybody wants one, you can swing by, and we'll be doing a giveaway for that.
Shout out that channel.
Austradamus Toys. It's in the name. See it right there. Right there.
Join the clubhouse.
Gotta come hang out at the clubhouse.
Yep.
And then our good friend, My Buddy's Customs, he had messaged me about wanting one. So I started asking, did anybody grab an extra? And our good friend, John Emerald Knight Photos, had picked up an extra one. Ooh. So although I love snakes and I currently have 3 snakes and I don't want to let any of them go, I am willing to part with them to share the joy of amazing Mythic Legions figures around. So this is going to be getting sent up to our good friend Bud all the way out in Wisconsin. We got you your Ninian. Because that's what you do with this community. You work together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what you do.
Speaking of which, when we got back in our regular off-world chat, Matthew Dooch had messaged and asked what they were going for at the con. So because he knew he was going to have to pay after market prices, and I said I got you, and I sent one off to him, and he asked what I needed for it, and I said his undying love, and that's where you get people, folks. That's how you lock them in. And
just your immortal soul. That's all right.
Listen, money will come and go. You'll spend that, and
force.
you won't even remember what you spent it on. But when you get somebody's undying love, that is forever. So
it's true. And although I don't have it near me right now, I also picked up the Cabal Creations Volume 2 coloring book because our good friend Allison Troy, who does a coloring channel, last year. I worked with Dusty and got her the Cabal Creations one, even though I wasn't even at the con. Thank you, Dusty. So swung by his booth. It was one of the first booths I hit when I went through. Grabbed this one because we're sending it to Allison again as a Christmas present, and then we're going to do a couple live colorings. So
beautiful.
Definitely check that out. But like I said, I just didn't spend a lot. Also, Christina, who's completely new to Mythic Legions, had no idea what 4 horsemen were. She thought we were actually heading into the apocalypse. She was highly disappointed about that, but then quickly got over it. She heard Jersey and 4 horsemen and just thought we were going to die. So,
nice.
Yeah, but got her first Legions figure. She got Ziri from Cosmic Legions. She fell in love with the statue, and then it was like we went through the store and she was like, I gotta get it. So picked that up for her, and now she wants a Belulith, and we got to get her a Gods of Egypt set. Like, she's just got a whole list that formed over the weekend, so we're gonna make it happen. Next thing you know, she'll be wanting to join the Legions, ladies.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. We'll throw Rygon up here. Ryan, what you got for us?
So this was actually my first pickup. I got this from Reynolds Cruise.
Nice.
Bad robot.
Nice paint job. I love that.
Gorgeous. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's fucking sweet.
And he's talking to the Glyos guys about making that a Glyos, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yep. That'd be nice.
I grabbed this from Noah Pratt. Is that going to focus?
There it is. Now it is.
Jesus,
oh,
nice.
yeah. I think we had that as a shelf selection. That thing is awesome.
Damn, that's cool. How did I
Yeah,
miss
I mean, a
that?
lot of
When did you
people-
pick that up? Like right away?
Man.
Oh, yeah, dude. As soon as the con opened, I went.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm loving that blue hair on that.
No.
Shout out to the Legions ladies. Just hit 500 this past week on their YouTube.
Congrats.
Yeah, check them out. Subscribe if you haven't. They've got an amazing show coming up next week. They got the director on there as well as some other great guests. So yeah, check that out.
I was able to snag that.
Yeah, I heard that went quick.
Dude, that was, I'm going to interject here.
Man.
This is one of my favorite things because I was among the people who were pressuring Wade to come to this thing. And I'm like, I know he's going to do well, but like, there's no guarantees. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm talking it all up. And like,
I remember
who
on your
knows?
show, like you were like, he was telling you kind of like what he was thinking about bringing. You told him he was going to have to up the numbers. And I don't know what he ended up bringing, but I heard it sold out super fast.
So he had, I don't know how many of the exclusive that he had, but they sold out within like 20 minutes or so.
Wasn't
and
it
then
all
the
like-
rest. What's that? No. Then he had 60 of like just the regular ones without the exclusive outfit, and those sold out almost all on Saturday. So he had like a handful left on Sunday. So he was super happy. Definitely coming back again next year. Definitely, he's talking about creating something specific for LegionsCon again. Like so, he was very happy.
Something to to note about that is, you know, a lot of people, you know, customizers, they talk about like, you know, I'm gonna have, you know, 30 heads or 50 heads or whatever, painted heads, and just like quietly, like his exclusive, like it included, I think it was a run of 50. Ryan, do you know, was it 50 pieces
I think
for
it was
the
like
exclusive?
I think it was like 50 or 60.
It
wasn't.
And so
that much. Mirko saying in the chat
he painted
only
all
took
those heads.
55.
Yeah.
He painted all those. Okay, 55.
Yeah.
He painted 55 heads, which is pretty like crazy. Like I know somebody else, you know, printed them, and Rebel 10, is that who it is?
Rebel 10 created the
did the
outfit.
cloth
Hedgehog
goods and
says
stuff.
60,
But like
so we
Wade
got-
himself painted
yeah.
all those.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, we
that's
gotta-
impressive. On
We're
top
gonna
of
have to
like
battle
all
it
the
out in
other
the chat
stuff.
on whether it's 60 or 55. So
He made
Whatever,
60,
it's-
but I guess he only brought 55.
But that's whatever it is.
Either way,
a
that's
lot of heads to
120
paint and bring.
pieces, you know, because he had 60 of the regular ones. So that's nuts, man. Like for, you know, something that's not even Mythic related, you know, you can't pop it onto anything. It's great. I love it.
I think it's cool though that, I mean, we've talked about this for the past few years, like just the fact that the Four Horsemen do, you know, help these other, you know, independent properties like get their feet wet and invite them into this kind of thing. And you wouldn't necessarily think that this kind of character would translate to, you know, Mythic Legions, but people come in and they love creativity, they love art, they love these designs, and they immediately just picked all this stuff up. So I just think it's cool to see these folks, you know, whether it be through Kickstarter or whatever, kind of, you know, they have an idea of something that they want to bring to the world, and it happens, and it's just really cool to see it, especially at LegionsCon. So
yeah, I think you hit on something huge there, man. I mean, I don't want to dive too deep into it, but like, it is like a love of creativity and, you know, uniqueness or something like that. Just an owner based, you know. Love, and even in the customizer community, you know what I mean, the people who have their things, you know what I mean, like Emil has his things, you have your things, you know what I mean. It's like people really respect that in here, more than I've ever seen. I mean, it feels to me like almost like a designer con thing outside of designer con. It's really cool.
Right.
I love it.
Rob Zamora says Odie is still my favorite non-Mythic Legions figure of the year. I think he's forgetting about the Todd McFarlane figure of himself. So,
that is true.
But other than that,
that's a pretty hot toy. Don't, you know, can't knock that toy. It's a hot one.
Right, God.
I got this from Alexander Deshaw.
Nice.
Ooh, that's cool.
Those are great.
I thought it was like a door at first. I'm like, what is that? Is that the
Could
plank
be.
from the Titanic
Could be a door?
that the guy couldn't get on? What is okay.
That's the thickest.
I got a marble
I've
table
ever
of
seen.
his, like a marble style of a table. It's
Yeah,
really
Alexander like upped his game like so much.
His
this
marble,
year, man. Like
his marble stuff
looked great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I got this.
Oh boy!
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Bullhead Studios. I've been after this for a year.
That is
damn
cool.
nice.
With all 4 figures. Was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
7 hundo.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Worth every penny. Look at that gorgeous thing.
Yeah. That's
Can't
amazing.
quite get that. There it is.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pickup.
Yep. Dragon confirmed right there.
Yeah.
You're right. Right. All 6 feet
Set
of it.
sail.
Did
And dragon confirmed.
Did Amber enable you on that one and convince you to get it?
No, that was all me actually.
Okay. All right. Usually she's the one kind of encouraging you to pull the trigger, so I just wanted to check.
Everything else she did, but that one was me.
She was the original enabler. So. All right, let's throw Dylan over here. Dylan, what did your dad Jesse let you buy at the con?
So
What you do with your allowance?
Never
per
Yeah,
day.
what'd you do with your allowance?
I guess I'll start with the only full custom I got from Mal from Legions.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Purple skeleton with
Damn.
torn
I'm
armor.
loving
and
it.
John,
I need a
Love
Mel
that
original.
shield's cool.
Yeah.
John threw this in for free just for buying it.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
He did say, I don't know where my flashlight
That
is.
custom just like
This
pushed
is
almost all of my
UV
buttons.
reactive. It's really cool.
All right,
I
now
got-
you have hit all of my buttons with
Yeah.
that one. Ooh.
Got this from John, also Orange
Ooh.
Krampus.
Nice.
Awesome.
I
Cool.
like that.
And got this from Dirk.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's another one.
That's
Ooh.
badass.
I
Dirk's a
saw
nice
it, and
guy.
I
like
need to
that
go
Dirk.
back for that. 'Cause-
Wait, just the head or the whole thing?
No, just the head. That's the,
Oh, I was gonna
the-
say, like,
that's
Dirk,
gotta be
you're like,
that's the Garros.
you're going in and buying stuff. Hey, here's custom. Got already.
Flipping the exclusives and selling
just
them right
came
there.
out. He's flipping the exclusives of customs right off the bat.
He had to make money for the next 3 or 4.
That Gorich figure is gonna be perfect for so
Mhm.
many heads like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Spe-
awesome.
Speaking of adjusting things quickly, so Saturday we have that drop, the snake figure and stuff, and Sunday I didn't get a chance to walk the con at all on Saturday. Sunday, like maybe 5 minutes before the con is getting ready to open, I had a chance to quickly walk the floor, and I go over by First Alliance, and Anthony Houseel immediately has a snake dwarf. I'm like, it hasn't even been 24 hours. Are we this is what we're doing? This is all right.
Anthony's. I don't know what he does for a living, but he's a born marketer for sure.
Commitment to the cause. All right.
Exactly.
Sorry, Dylan.
No problem. So Mira gave out painted heads at her table.
Oh,
at
we
the
got a Mira
customizing
original.
studio.
Nice.
So I grabbed
Awesome.
Okay.
Shout out Customizing Studio Artists. That was an awesome event.
That was great.
I got to play D&D with Mira.
Yeah,
That was fantastic. Her
man.
excitement is infectious.
I've
she
just
is
talking
great.
to her seems that way. I can't even imagine being in a campaign with her. That would be great.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, her
I will
idea
say-
of faction-based dice for the game. Oh, I'm like, hell yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
hell yeah. I'm
Oh,
all
man.
about that.
Give me that noble bear die.
Mhm.
What else you got for us, Dylan?
So as sappy as it sounds, I think Joe is my favorite pickup from the whole weekend.
Oh yeah, very
Hey,
good.
now.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it
after
is.
that
Yeah.
robo comment, that
Yeah.
one go back over.
And circling back to that, when Trevor was saying that Robo is coming back, Wade said the same thing, but he didn't hold an exclusive for me, so I don't care if he comes back or not.
Yeah, screw that guy, man. He's
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
Last year, I held a Monkey King for him for 6 months,
Mhm.
and then he's like, "I'm ready to pay for it." I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "Actually, I need the money for something else." It's like, man, go away.
Well, it's good to know you're not harboring resentment. So there's that.
It'll eat you alive.
The
Yeah.
best thing you
I'm
can do
going
is
to
have
Rhino
beef with
Cup
Wade
tomorrow
for
with
like
that
a
one.
month or so. It's
Yeah,
perfect. It'll
hang
boost
on to that
whatever you're
beef
doing.
because that's
Yeah.
precious.
It's
It'll make
valuable.
that-
It's
that's,
valuable
uh,
beef.
Right,
That's
like Young
Wade's whole
Guns.
thing.
It's like Wagyu beef, like right
I
there.
do think you forgot one pickup though, Dylan. I think didn't Jesse give you his hand-me-down camera and mic? Isn't that what you're on right now?
No, I'm using my my Beats earbuds right now.
pizza
okay.
rolls.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not on shows like all you guys, so I'm using my laptop and earbuds.
Hey, dude, I gave you an idea for a show, and you said "fuck you." I was like,
Oh,
"Whatever,
That's
man."
not what I said. I said you need to make sure I do it.
Wow, you
That
got beef
was-
everywhere, man.
It was FAH-Q, folks. Calm down.
All right.
You need to have a show
Yeah.
now because you got beef everywhere.
If we're
You'll
gonna do
have like
beef,
1,000
he also
subscribers
bailed on
immediately.
doing questions for the book layer. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
I carried the whole.
Oh,
fucking thing.
Damn.
Let's go.
I'm just joking around.
All right.
You got a
let's see.
million. You got a million subscriber thing going on here, man. Right off the bat, like you got beef with Dorklear and Wade, and like, good Lord. People
The
are gonna
last
flock
thing,
to
and
you.
this was a total surprise to me. Curtis got one too, but she gave me this
Yeah.
and
What am I
told
looking
me
at?
the whole story.
My
And
drama.
I got one.
she's
of
one of the best people I've ever met.
Dude, I love G so
Can you-
much.
Can you hold
Oh
it up
my
again?
God,
I don't know what
love
that
that
is.
guy, man. Love him.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Ah, man, I actually left mine upstairs. I showered and
For
didn't
for
put it
such
back
a
on.
little guy, though, he's like a bullet. he saw me and he came running from like the other side of the main area, and he hit me so hard I almost fell down. I was like, damn, G, don't knock me down.
Yeah, he's the best, man. It was
good.
just awesome to see him all weekend, and getting him to wear the Dear Labby hat was priceless. I'm gonna remember that forever.
Him and Elijah, Captain Firebeard Baker, man, just the energy that those guys had, man, it was great.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Trevor, I know you probably didn't get away from your table much, but
I got a lot. Did you see my picture? I got a lot.
I saw the post. I sat next to you the whole day.
Trevor's never at his table.
I'm still shocked at all the stuff.
No, I'm not Chris. I'm not Chris. I'm not Chris. Come on, man. I had my wife to walk around one day, for an hour, so whatever. Anyway, I had my boys there taking care of me, so that was good.
It's funny because I was with you the whole time, and then you posted that, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like you got so much stuff! Like I couldn't even believe it."
He was double.
It was quick, man. I was just like, I ran over, and there was that Dio from Chris Ferrone, Mythic Bits that was the painted piece. And I'm like, I'll take it. Let's just wrap it up. I'll take it. Like, we'll figure it out later. So that's what I did all weekend. This was pre-ordered from Matt Stein, the Patina Prince, which is fantastic. So I got kind of a Skelly, and I got a Fury Orc sort of collection going on from people. And Mark Calvo, I bought some stuff from him, but then he just came over and said, "This is for you," which it was like blew me away, man. Like that was amazing.
He had some great stuff.
Oh God, yeah. And I think I bought a Fury Orc head from him, but then he's like, I know you're into Fury Orcs. I'm like, cool. Trying to narrow this down. LeBron,
you son of a bitch.
Love this thing. Yeah, you and Blake was after this too. I'm like, I'll fight that guy.
He posted that like 2 or 3 weeks before the con. Man, it's fantastic.
Oh yeah. I finally picked up. So I bought Emil's Darth Vader last year, and I bought Stormtrooper to go with it this year.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Which, yes, Curtis, I'll probably never photograph, but whatever.
That's all right. It's still in your collection.
And then this is a story to keep it to 4 things. Although I've gone very fast, so I probably could do like.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want, man. I ain't gonna control Trevor Williams.
I'm trying to look at my picture here, like to see what else I bought here. So many people, like Chris Ferrone threw some stuff at me. I bought some stuff from Mike, Insightful Imagery, and PL Toy Box, some prop stuff. I'm loving like the props and the diorama stuff, man. It's amazing. Good stuff. Big Dub's sister, I'm forgetting.
Kim,
yes, made a really cool like 2-tone cape set, and she traded me for like a calendar or something. I don't know. It wasn't worth it for her, but it was great for me. Beautiful thing. So this is a great story. I think it's a great story.
Oh yeah.
I'll try and make it great anyway. So this was out in the hallway. So this is Honeypot Project, and this is Sergio Rosas. Out in the hallway, and I just like it caught my eye, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is
what?"
So
now,
cool.
What caught your eye about this?
What caught my eye? I actually poked my eye on one of these spikes on here. So
it almost
like
killed you on the Sunday night show. We were
exactly. So I was walking by them as they were packing up, because I kind of saw it in the hall, and I'm like, I got to remember that I might go back there, and I forgot. I didn't have time, whatever. And I said, "Do you still have the Balrog?" And they're like, yeah. And I asked them what the price was, and I'm like, all right, let me pack up, and let me think about it. And then Iz Ramirez comes to my table as I'm packing up, and he's like, "Hey." I'm going to try and do my Iz Ramirez. No, I won't. I did it the other day, but I was really like, I had some in me. So he's like, "Hey, I heard you were talking to the guys in the hallway with the." I told him, I'm like, "You know who that is? That's 1/6 shooter. You should give him a good price on." I'm like, "Oh no, no, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Like, no." So he negotiated the price down for me, but I was like, I don't know. Like, I've spent a lot of money this weekend. So I'm out in the lobby. And I just brought shout out to Van Johnson also. for this empty bottle of Rebel.
Nice.
It wasn't empty. It wasn't empty when he brought it to me. It's empty now. And I owe him because I did kind of screw him over, but whatever. Anyway, I brought that out, and I'm sitting there pouring a drink, and Pablo Lopez comes out holding this like a child. Like he's just holding it. He's holding it like this, and I'm like, "You son of a bitch! You didn't buy that, did you? You bought that?" I'm like, look at him, like, "You son of..." All the jealousy was raging in me. I was like, "You son of a bitch!" Meanwhile, Sergio is like hiding behind the pylon, and he just comes out and he's laughing, and Pablo's laughing, and they're like, "No." So like his name is Honeypot Project. They literally kind of. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but they kind of honeypotted me into buying this thing. So I was like, yeah, I got to have it. I got to have it because I felt really extreme jealousy when Pablo had it in his hand. So it's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Great sales tactic right there.
Absolutely.
Man, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Like, I had all credit to them, man. That was fantastic.
They know a sucker when they see one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I was fished in, man. Fished in.
Anything else you want to show us, Trevor?
Nah, that's all I got at my table right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
Well,
I got my armory stuff, and that was cool. But everybody got that kind of stuff. So
beautiful. All right. Well, I will throw Bill up over here. Bill.
Oh, I do. Oh, wait. One more thing.
Sorry, Bill. We're not up yet.
One more thing. Well, you're gonna like this because I want to shout out your lovely wife, who was super nice. She and Tanya to my wife as she was walking around, and she gave her this little dragon, which I've kind of co-opted, but I'm going to put on her desk in a couple of days. So shout out to Darla. She's awesome. Tanya's awesome. So thank you guys.
Meeting Darla for the first time, she came up, she's kind of giving me this polite handshake of, oh, this might be somebody who knows who I am kind of thing. And I said, it's Oz. And she immediately just stopped with the handshake BS and wrapped me up in a hug. She goes, "You're family." And I was like, yes.
Yeah, everybody loves Darla.
Yeah.
I was talking to the kids today about that. I'm like, yeah, the freaking owners of the company are coming up giving her hugs, and they don't even talk to me. I gotta Photoshop myself on her body to make it look like I talked to them.
What? That was Photoshop? No.
I mean, no, that was totally real. So
it was scary real.
All right, Bill. I know you just did a show last night, but anything else you want to kind of hit us with?
I'll say one of the fun things. So I immediately grabbed a Trevor lunchbox. Thank you, Trevor.
Which one did you get?
Of course. Which what? Which lunchbox? I get
it had the tuna sandwich in it. It was the one with the tuna sandwich.
The
Cosmic. Okay.
But like walking around with that as like my little carry-all and like buying heads and Glyos figures and just like packing that thing with stickers and pins. And
it had to make you feel like a little kid.
It was so much fun. Yeah, it was so much fun doing that. And I hope you do another lunchbox next year because I want to do it again. Some of that stuff, I picked up some Glyos, of course. I got this Toyfinity Manglore figure that I shared last night. It's like sort of a skeleton skull theme. I got some of these like constructor guys. This is from Angry Hedgehog. This is their Colossi, Chaos Colossi, I believe.
Chunky boy.
Something like that. Yeah, he's a chunky guy. And I got a head from John Caulfield. I took it off the figure because I'm actually working. I have all of my legions. Like I have the armory stuff, the exclusives, and then the Ninny and infantry all on my review table over there. And I'm getting ready to do a like just the swaps video because I just don't have the time to review all that. And I know that pretty much those have all been reviewed at this point. So I'm gonna do like
that head looked great on your green armory figure.
Yeah, right. Like it's like it's the perfect colors, and it kind of matches both the leather greens and the metallic greens. It works really well, and when I'm done with that, it's going right back on there.
Nice.
But probably my biggest like pickup, my like the most like custom thing, is this Brian Burke.
Damn
dope
Astro Muck figure. that is just, I didn't even think it was going to be for sale. It wasn't for sale last year. Trevor, I completely forgot that you had wanted this.
I tried my best to get it, and
last year, I know.
Now, when you got close to his table,
cool. I'm glad you got it.
Did he kind of like finger you over to come get it?
Actually, it's funny because, so the story with this is that he was like he was getting ready to leave. He left early Sunday, like at 1. And he was like in the midst of packing up all the stuff for people who purchased early in the con, and they left it there for display, and they came back like, come back before I leave so you can get your stuff, right? And he was like totally zoomed in on that. And I was kind of like waiting to hang out and chat a little bit with him, and I could tell he was just so absorbed in that stuff. But Roberto was there helping out at the table, and I was assuming it wasn't for sale, and for some reason I just was like, I should scan his QR code just to see. He always does crazy marketing, right? Like he's always got like really neat stuff going on. So I scanned that, and I saw the Astromech on there for sale. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this thing. So I waited around a little longer, and like he was still super busy. So I was like, all right, hey, Roberto, I'm going to give you the money for this. Buy this now. And just tell him that like some random person bought it. And then so like on Monday when I was back from it, I put it on my table with my, recognizable background and like shot it and was like, this was my favorite pickup, and surprised Brian because, he thought just some random person got it. So he was
That's
like,
cool.
very happy to see that like it didn't just randomly go to anybody, but that I had it.
Did you see that little video with him and CJ's kid doing the little finger
Oh
thing?
yes,
that was great.
That was hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right.
Hey, I want to do one more shout out to Jeremy Govier, who not to be confused with Chris Collier, which is they're both spelled similar, but Collier and Govier.
It's Jeremy
for my
Govier.
first.
Yeah.
No, it's Jeremy Govier, isn't it? And Chris Collier. I got him backwards. Fucking A. Well, you're all gonna sound French. Screw it. He came in my first Glyos. My first Glyos. Which
Very
was
nice.
Faden,
Awesome.
right? Is that his name? Faden?
Faden, yeah. That's the one that's going to be the mythic.
Yep. Dan Larson hooked me up with one of his little guys.
Ooh, that one's cool.
I love that one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is from the from his show,
great.
right? Yeah.
Yep. SGX.
Yeah, SGX. All right.
Well,
wait, I got a quick story, Dirk, before you start. Just give me 1 second. You don't have to enlarge me to tell a story, but
I am small.
You can make me smaller. I'm uncomfortable. I was walking by Trevor's table, and Trevor wasn't there. Nate was selling some prints to a guy, and I need to shave. And the guy goes, "Where's Trevor? I wanted him to sign the print." And Nate goes, "I'm right here. I'll sign it for you." and it actually made me laugh out loud. Like we're just walking by. That was a pretty awesome.
One thing I realized about that joke over that weekend is that Trevor and Nate don't really like it when other people make that joke, but they will still continue
love it
to.
when
They
they do it,
really
yeah.
love making it themselves.
Yeah, it's like
funny.
our thing, but like you guys can't
do it.
Yeah, you can't.
You can call your own baby ugly, but nobody else.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Dirk, the trash panda, the most adorable man at LegionsCon. What do you got for us, sir?
I grabbed a couple things here. First thing, not mythic, but I kind of worked something out with Matt Stein. So he brought it to intern. Was the Nemesis Immortal?
Nice. Very cool.
I just completely missed out on it. The G.I. Joe cartoon as a kid was my favorite thing. I think we had three or four copies on VHS because I was just watching it all the time. So this wave that they've been doing focused on the movie has really been my favorite. Next pickup, I also had to grab the God's Fire, which this is
God's Fire never dies.
I've already got them primed. I've already started painting them. I told myself I'd take like a week after the con to not paint anything, and this was like the first thing out of my car. Primed them up and already started painting. So
I don't blame you. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. They are awesome.
They really are. I'm also realizing I missed a lot of stuff. Like I didn't have a ton of time to walk around and see people's booths. So this last week or so, I'm, seeing people's posts, and I'm just like, oh, shoot, I missed that. But I'm glad other people have been able to enjoy everything.
Even if you have time to spend the entire time walking the floor, you're still gonna miss a ton of stuff. I had a lot of time, and I still missed so much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You watch like Big Dub's videos where he's going to every person. I'm like, where? I didn't even see that table. Where was that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. That's like one of the regrets with the show is it's almost like just too much to see.
I do think that you're forgetting one thing though, Dirk. I believe I gave you a gift out by the fire pit.
Oh, I ate all that.
That's 2 people tonight, Curtis.
Yeah, no, that didn't last long.
Gotcha.
Half of it became my ribbons, and the other half I ate. So
gotcha. Yeah.
Is that your underwear, or what was that?
Well, for those not in the know, after my wife is going to kill me live show, I was walking out, and right outside of somebody's room, they just had like a bag of really good trash available. And I saw it, immediately told Darla, like, we got to get this for Dirk. And
Dirk.
Yeah, brought it down to him, and yeah, he found some good stuff in there. I think some of it became ribbons for you guys the next day. So
it did.
Yeah,
yep, sure did.
Which, by the way, best ribbons in the con, Dirk Designs for sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
not even a
absolutely.
question.
I didn't get one, but they were awesome.
I'll send you one. Shouldn't be that hard.
There you go. Ooh, yes.
Jordan did a trade.
Nice.
So I got his Green Goblin tribute. Which
that Sinister Six was nuts, man. That was so good.
And I don't see him in the chat, so I'm gonna gush on him for a little bit. But Jordan has gotten really good at customizing this year. Like his paint work, from the start of the year till now has gotten so damn good. I'm very impressed. Mm-hmm. So,
oh yeah. Another trade that I did, probably my better one would be the.
Wow! Yeah.
He's my darling.
There we go. Wow. There we go.
That's a plethora of Darla right there. That's,
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. We worked out a trade because Dirk did this amazing custom with an airbrush that I was yelling at him for originally until I became an airbrush guy. But he did this marbleizing armor on a knight, and I thought it was really cool in pictures, but once I saw it in person, I was like, I gotta have that. And he's like, yeah, we can work out a deal for some capes. I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. So
I'm gonna go grab my little customizing studio too that I've been working.
Oh, okay, cool. While he is doing that,
hey Curtis, embiggen me real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dun, dun, dun,
oh, you found it.
I actually was feeling like crap. I was like, oh my God, I hope I didn't leave it there. So I actually had to go check, and I found it. So, yeah.
All right, good. Got it. Well, I'm glad that you got it.
I forgot 2 things that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
So the first one, I got a new nickname from Jeremy from My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me. Apparently, I look like Van Halen's son, who goes by Wolfgang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Amber and Jeremy DeWitt have been calling me Wolfie since then. So there's that. And then I also got COVID from everybody by the fire pit, so that's cool.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
What's amazing is I spent so much time with Dylan, and I feel fine. I didn't get sick at all.
Yeah,
you weren't sharing.
No con flu. Must be the cigarettes and coffee, Joe.
I didn't get the con flu either.
He's right.
Alcohol. We'll do that.
Didn't expect that view. Yeah, I got really sick like 3 or 4 weeks before the con, which kind of sucked at the time because I had to go to Chicago and speak in front of like 600 people, which really sucks.
That's right.
But then come, con, then I made it through that without any issues. So other than, Dirk getting me adorable. So, but Dirk, what else did you have there? Oh yeah. I saw this today. Yeah, that came out fantastic.
Some spots, the fur is not easy to do the marble, but
yeah,
some spots always turn out better than others.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So for those not in the know, this is the bust that we gave out at the Customizing Studio event. Designed by Len LaGuardia himself. Like he didn't, not one of his sculptors or anything. That's just that's a Len special. So
yeah, it's an awesome piece.
Beautiful. Well, let me throw myself up here. I did a whole freaking special the other day, so you can see most of my stuff on there. But I have got a couple things that I didn't show.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, one is my I did kind of show this the other day, but we've since framed it. And this is the Richard Jones 1 of 1.
Yeah, what? Again, another one. Like, I didn't know he was doing commissions, man. I bought a couple of prints of his.
I thought that was the Monkey King until Curtis told me.
My understanding now,
I would have guessed Monkey King as well. Yeah.
I could be wrong on this, but my understanding is that he did 2 of these. He did one for me and one for somebody else. I always, whenever they do their episodes with his drawings, I always really appreciate his art.
I love it.
This is in my new customizing studio that I'm building because one of my kids moved out. This is the first thing that's going in there. So thank you, Rich.
I would have went over for one of those, but I'm not.
I got a Hagnon.
Hyper realism.
Oh, here we go.
So...
Here we go. Look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I got a couple of those, but I didn't know he was doing like commissions.
There we go.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Or what is that? Orion's belt?
That's Hagnon. No, because he's invisible.
He's invisible with a ball cape.
He's the best.
That is.
I love Richard.
When I got home, I had this bust waiting for me, which I've been waiting on, and it's very kind of cheaply made, hollow, but it looks nice. And this is going to go on my Batman shelf, so I was excited about that. That's not a LegionsCon pickup though. And then I did put my figures together as far as my armor experience. I'm not going to show them all, but I really like this one. This one was my favorite.
Dude, that's almost good. Look at this. Look.
That looks good.
Let's get Trevor up here.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
That green leather just pops so much.
Yeah.
I really love it.
The lighting on Trevor's looks better.
I hear that the leather was very popular. Like those pieces went quick. And for those people that are out there, if you are really into leather, check out Legend Daddies. See Jeff Evans if you're interested. But yeah,
got some leather from Jeff right here. We're gonna make sure he is fully stacked next year. And then leather right here for you.
Just put this together last night. So for those that may not have been aware, Tanya was at my table, and the McCoy. I love the McCoys; they're so great. She was there. She was displaying her stuff, and she wasn't planning on selling. But as she said on her show Thursday night beforehand, if somebody loves it more than her, then and they're willing to pay the price to love it more than her, then she's willing to sell. And she ended up selling a custom that she made for her son, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So then she had to kind of scramble, and she has to now make a new one, and she needed some Vitus parts for it, Vitus, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, so I thought that I had a full figure at home that wasn't in my display. I didn't, but I had a bunch of parts for it. Well, one of the things that I needed was the bare arms and legs, so I decided that I would just use one of the $10 sets that they got to kind of adjust mine and give her those parts. And I tell you what, these $10 sets are fantastic, man.
Right? I'm mad I didn't get more.
My favorite part about her doing that, though, is that it made me realize that you actually can put a price on love. So
for sure. But yeah, these things are great, man. I'm actually going to look through my collection and just find other figures that I think I may want to just try and do some pop and swaps with it. I can't even imagine what Bill's going to do with these. Like, you see Bill's pop and swaps at the end of his videos and stuff. Just taking that and adding it to, whatever new releases that he reviews and stuff. I think, man, we're gonna see some really cool shit. So,
20 was the number to beat.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is I got beat by one person, which was Dennis Derby, who bought 22, but he was buying them for 5 different people. So I do have the single largest purchase for one person. But yeah, Dennis did have a larger purchase than me. So just FYI.
There's an asterisk next to that.
Yeah, why do I keep hitting that one? Yeah. Bill, real quickly, just with those $10 parts, anything that immediately like popped into your head as far as like, hey, I got to do this with that?
No, but I'm gonna really be thinking about it tomorrow because that's gonna be part of the video I'm working on, the Just the Swaps video. So like it's the armory, it's all that stuff. But yeah, I mean they are gonna be fantastic, and it's like a complete set, right? Like sometimes you get like an arm and a torso and like a armored arm, or sometimes you get like the legs and the torso. You know, like you don't always get the full set of it. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to have the full set because it gives you all the options for the swap. So it's going to be a really universal set that's going to go a long way.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with it. And like people like Joe Suter and, you know, you guys do your pop and swap all stars. Like I guarantee we're going to see these in some of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So
and I kind of want to put it on a Romulus and,
yeah,
I was thinking somebody else, Lee J.
Oh yeah, Lee J.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think Lee J'd look really good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some really cool stuff with that. So, I mean, hey, anytime that Chris wants to mess up like that and give us some great parts for $10, I'm all for it. So, keep messing up, Chris. We love you. Which that dude was a character, man. This weekend, like his different, like the costumes and just like, dude. That dude's wild. I can't imagine working with that guy all the time.
Oh, you should ask people about working with him.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
It's love, but you know.
For sure. So let's kind of just hit up any other things that happened this weekend you saw, you experienced that you were like, man, this is awesome, and this is what LegionsCon's all about. And you know, feel free, whoever wants to go. I got Bill up front.
I would like to. So in years past, I've been, you know, like kind of lingering around Trevor's table and like a part of it. But like this year, I was like very closely involved with Trevor and Trevor's table, and the professionalism of Trevor, of you, like that you put out with your table and your display and all of your products and stuff is like, it's impressive. Like it is really.
Thank you, man.
It's really great to see.
I actually saw, like, I didn't know you were going to be on today. I saw the Toy Daddies thing, like, earlier today, and you said something similar, and I really appreciate that. That's awesome, man. I feel good about that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Stop kissing
and thank
his
you,
ass.
And thank you and Nate for helping me out, man, because it would be tough. I hope we want to expand the table and get some more stuff in there. Like we had the the Dorklair stuff, and we had Nate's books, but I know Nate wants to do prints and Bill will have T-shirts and stuff next year. So we'll see if we can get another table.
Yeah, if we can do like a
tough to get a table, but
we'll see. 1/6 shooter table and then a Legion's lounge table right next to it would be like ideal. You know, would be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know too many people that are looking to give up a table right now, but
no, but
yeah, we'll see what happens. I know Tanya after this year she's looking for her own table, which she would like to do a table for her stuff, but then also give space to other Legions ladies that maybe don't have a vendor table that they could display.
That'd be great.
You know what? I'm going to raise my hand. You know what I love is like some people, and I don't remember exactly who it was who helped out people, but I told Sergio like next year because they were out in the hall. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, give me a custom. I'll put it on my table and advertise. Mm-hmm. Like I love that. Like people like helping out other tables. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And other customizers by putting their stuff on their table and kind of featuring it.
I had the cool. I had the triple trickle down where D. Blake had Josh Brown at his table.
That's right.
And in Josh Brown's section of his table, Josh Brown let me put my only custom that I did this past year on his table. So
you had a sublet. You sublet table.
Yeah, it was a sublet, and so I actually, like, first time having a figure on display at LegionsCon, I was very like thrilled by that.
So I don't mean to get into a deep discussion, but this kind of opens something up, and I'm going to throw it out there.
Do it.
I think, so my first LegionsCon that I went to, Len let me put some stuff out there, and that's how I got my start, and I got my own table the next year, and I'm trying to do the same thing, like let people get their start by putting stuff at my table, and I think that's great. I think it's kind of a pay it forward kind of thing, and help folks out. That's awesome. I do think that it gets extreme at times where you've got, somebody that has a table and they've got 5, 6, 7, 10 people selling things at their table, and you don't have them on the vendor list. You don't know who's actually there. You don't know really who you're buying from. I think that can get a little confusing.
Convoluted.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping that they kind of clear some of that up next year. Now I've already seen, Jeremy has sent out, things to the vendors as far as who's coming back, and has already kind of talked about some of that. So maybe that'll clear up a little bit of that. I totally agree with you, Trevor, that I think it's cool to share your space and help somebody out. I just, and I'll give you an example, and I'm not trying to point the fingers at anybody or whatever, but I saw a post in the Cabal where a guy was like, hey, I made this thing and I'm going to be bringing them. And, how many of these should I print? Should I print 100 of these? It's like, and, some folks in the chat were like, well, what table are you at? And he didn't have a table. And so then he's like, oh, well, I think I'm going to have it at this person's table or whatever. And as a vendor, you have a lot invested in this before you even arrive at the con. I mean, you're paying for your table. You're paying for, the tables don't come with a tablecloth. So you got to pay for a tablecloth. You got to get it like a table runner or something with your signage on it, maybe even a banner in the back. Some of us have stickers. We've got pens. We got shirts. Now you got to get ribbons. Like you got to pay for the hotel for the week. So we may be $2,000 in the hole before we even start this thing. Right. And so if you've got somebody that's just kind of walking in off the street with none of that overhead cost and selling, similar things, and all of theirs go straight to profit, that's not really cool. And I specifically when it comes to like individual, like specific things. So like I think of like Carver Customs, torches and stuff. They work all year long, pay all these expenses to get there and stuff. If somebody was to come in off the street, have their stuff in a backpack and just be like, oh, I'm at so-and-so's table, and maybe they've got one display at the table, and then they're selling out of a backpack. That's not cool. That's stuff I think we should put a squash to. So
it's tough to like if you're splitting a table or something with somebody. Like if Nate had prints at my table, like we're maybe splitting the cost of that. That's cool. Like it's splitting the space as well.
Yeah, if you've got two people
like literally out of your backpack or something. I mean, Jeremy has said we're not doing that. We're not doing room sales. We're not doing sales in the hallway. We're not, you want to give something away. That's one thing. I got a turkey.
I was gifted stuff out of backpacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like that's a whole thing. You're like, no, what I'm talking about is like cross marketing within people who have already bought a table, because those guys bought a table but they're out in the hallway and they had like a lot of trouble getting traffic. I'm like, hey, next year, like give me a piece. I'll put it and say, hey, those guys are at table, like whatever that is, that 78 or whatever.
I think Joe.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
He said that I think Perry reached out to him and was talking to him about maybe them splitting a table next year. I think that's great. If you're splitting a table, you're splitting the cost, you're both displaying, you're on the vendor list. Totally cool. It's when these people are kind of doing, oh, well, I'm on so-and-so's table, but you really don't have a vendor badge. You're not on the vendor list. You're, that stuff gets a little bit more tricky.
Well, like Curtis was super kind and let me put my swigs on his tables to display, but I wasn't selling them. They were just hanging out there until the thousands.
Yeah, I don't think that should happen either, Joe. I mean, that's
well, in fairness, Joe was not at the table the entire time. So when people would ask about it, there was nobody there. I guess I could have sold it on his behalf.
You probably should have. Yeah.
Did somebody offer to buy my swigs? Because I didn't hear that.
You did the troll swig, right?
No, that was Billy.
That was Billy Beige.
White.
Oh, that was Billy Beige.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think my most popular one was the Jekyll and Hyde swigs.
Oh yeah.
So many people were commenting about those.
Yeah, and Gina, had mentioned that she was a huge fan, and her and Terrence had worked so hard on that when the show was over, I told them to go ahead and take them home. So,
that's awesome,
very awesome.
Yeah,
very
she was excited about that. So And those two, man, I tell you what, they did a fantastic job. Like,
Killer.
you know, not only kind of building up the hype before the event, but you know, there were some vendors that couldn't get away from their tables, and they went and picked up the swigs from them.
They did that for me.
Cataloged them. They got them all marked. I didn't hear of anybody saying, "Hey, I didn't get my swig back" or anything.
Yep.
I went down to grab my swigs to take them up because I was going to be playing D&D, and I went down to Curtis's table and they were gone already. And I was like,
I sold them
all.
all.
I was like, oh my God, what happened to my swigs? And thankfully Kevin McCoy was there and was like, no, they came and picked them up already. I was like, oh, thank God.
Seriously, it's a weird thing, but like that, I don't know. There was something about that event that like it just elevated from last year. I don't know what it was like for me. Like it just felt like
it was
wow,
really
everybody
like that
came
art
together.
exhibit, kind of like you were talking earlier about Designer Con. It was that kind of feel to it. Like this is a community project that it was like, okay, you take whatever your vision of what that swig should be and you bring it to life, and let's celebrate that. It was purely for the art of it. Nobody was selling. There wasn't things with price tags on the table, you know. And there's obviously like the first and second year of LegionsCon was like an art exhibit. A lot of people weren't selling. And it kind of brought it back to that, but that's not it. It was just that like people got involved in it, and it was that big. You know, it wasn't 1,000, but it was almost 300. Man, that's pretty damn cool.
Still really,
I loved it.
Hedgehog says very organic and of the fans, and then Jesse says you could say it was wholesome. So, and Stephanie says very immersive experience. We bonded over a goblin.
Yep.
Goblin bondage.
And Jeremy's ability to make us buy stuff that we don't.
Someone make that a shirt.
Van and Jordan.
We've loved everything that they've made a mistake on for this entire con was about like mistakes that the Four Horsemen made, and we loved it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
too many swigs and too many bodies.
That 1,000 swigs. I mean, I'm not trying to make Jeremy have a big head, but that has got to go down in like the marketing Hall of Fame. Like it is just. Like to take that character from something that people are like, oh, I got one of these in my mystery box and blah, 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 to people are actively going after this thing and creating something and being excited for it. It's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. A way to like get people to buy like 2 or 3 of them.
Yep.
But I have to say, Terrence, like making this thing a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At this point, like, it was fun on the Cabal. People were doing it. But I like just, the combination of the two, like just made like for a great marketing campaign.
Terrence was relentless with it. It wasn't like, something that he kind of started and it lost steam. Like he was just every day.
Oh yeah. He wasn't going to stop.
Promotional
I wish
stuff
I could promote my own podcast and stuff the way he was promoting.
Right?
Yeah. Just selflessly. It was, really cool.
Just hammered it. So, cool. Well, before Bill hit his, as far as memorable moment, I know Dylan had his hand up. Dylan, did you have something else that you want to share, kind of memorable moment that you took away from the weekend?
So, at the really cool for me, and it could be an ego thing, but at the swig thing, everyone was talking, and I made the Hellboy swig, and I heard like everyone talking about it, which was really cool. But then Joe Martinez told me to show it to David Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed it to David Williams. And just the look on David's face was like, probably made my year. And I wanted to give it to him, and he wouldn't let me give it to him if I didn't take money from him. So I sold something without meaning to. Which is so it says something about this community.
Yeah. To David Williams, which is cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The other thing is I spread misinformation to about half the con starting Saturday morning. I don't know if anyone else heard about this that I didn't tell, and I hope they did. Someone told me first thing in the morning that the guy manning the door to the Horseman stuff told him that there was a teaser on the scapular statue.
Oh yeah, you told me this bullshit.
For a figure that would be on the table on Sunday.
Yeah.
And when I went up to the statue, it was an Aetheron, like metal sigil thing sitting on the floor.
Mhm.
So I told at least 200 people, there's going to be something on the table tomorrow. And then someone goes, oh, it's going to be Aetheron. And I was like, I didn't say that. I was like, oh, maybe it's a new knight. Maybe it's the female Silver Knight because that was available for like 5 minutes and everything. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's Aetheron. I don't think so. And then nothing was on the table.
What time did you get in line that day, Dylan?
On Sunday?
Yeah.
I tried to get first thing in the morning. I'm not going to get into it too much. Someone tried to fight me over who got online first because I was waiting with Brett. And he was arguing with me over where Brett got online.
If you were with Brett, you were first in line.
According to this guy, Brett decided to sit where the TV was, so he lost his spot first in line.
Gotcha.
So
I'm just saying.
Not enough people
Next
talking
year,
about
I think it's funny though that like Trevor can keep a dragon secret for months on end, and Dylan can't keep a false secret. For like
30 seconds.
Hold that rumor in.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that. Like, yeah, like that means nothing, man. Like,
yeah,
no,
2 months I had to listen to you fucking people talking about a dragon. Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man.
A year.
Like, I remember that being one of the first things Jesse and Sean were talking about when I was getting into Legions. Oh, next year there's going to be a dragon, it's the year of the dragon. And I'm like, I don't know what the hype. And then I realized, like, okay, as I explored the line more, I'm like, yeah, okay, I see why everybody wants a dragon with this, but I was still blown away.
And now that everybody's heard this, don't believe any, because we'll be telling Dylan all kinds of fake secrets at next year's
Yeah. We're going to be seeding that.
Dude, you know what I heard? Yeah.
Trevor, if you ever need to get people off your trail,
Wolfie.
you tell me something and I'll spread it.
I will. Yeah, I will. I totally will.
Here's what I think should happen. I think Trevor should send Dylan a message every day with 363 things that are false and one thing that is true. And Dylan has to figure out over the course of next year which one is true.
Does one drop off each day?
Sir Galaron version 2 is coming out. Yeah.
All right, I'm on it.
I am so excited for this new event.
That would be awesome.
Can I don't want to take. I won't take over. Go ahead, Curtis. I don't want to.
No, go ahead. Have at it.
So like, I know you're not about speculation, but do we have like? So Jeremy officially said on Wednesday, much less than 650.
Okay.
Much more than 200. Like, that's in the region for the dragon. Like
So
do we have
500
speculation on?
seems pretty.
Yeah, I'm thinking, but he didn't say if that was all in or just the basic dragon.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was, nobody asked to clarify that, which I was like, I'm on the train. I'm like, come on, somebody asked this.
Yeah, with them doing a crowdfunding type thing, I think there's going to be many different price points depending on what options you decide to go with. I'm really, and I know Trevor, I know you're in this camp. I hope that they either have that base that we saw or some form of something like that base as an option. Yeah, that would be cool. Who knows? Maybe they've got a figure add-on that could go with it or some sort of unlock with that. So I think it just depends. For a standard individual dragon, I mean, I was initially thinking 500, which I think he said it won't be that. But that was kind of my initial thought. So anything less than that, I think we're winning. So
right.
Yeah, Rob says 600 is less than 650, but he said like quote significantly less than 650. And
I think somebody said 500
more than 200.
It wouldn't be
There's
that.
a fairly small window of significantly less than 650 and significantly more than 200.
You're at 350 to 450 basically.
Yeah.
When I think of like the Thunder Tank or Cat's Lair or Snake Mountain and those kind of things, I think this is more massive and difficult than any of that. And
it's articulation. It's not a play set.
This is closer to like the Mondo Battle Cat, the Mondo Scare Mare.
And those
it's
were
in that
500,
league, but bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like even the Mondo Battle Cat, which is a very impressive figure, that was 500. So this is bigger than that. And granted, there may be some of this. They said they don't know as far as how they're going to manufacture it. If some of it's going to be rotocast or whatever, and that could maybe reduce some of the weight and cost. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be impressive, and I think when it comes to like some of those unlocks and extra things, man, that's where I think the value for your money is going to be.
And like they're doing stuff. I was on with Nostalgia Unbox Jonathan this morning, and we were talking about this, and like these guys, the horsemen, they'll do things like a skeleton horse, which like, yeah, they'll probably have a centaur horse at some, skeleton horse at some point, which would be cool if somebody, but like, what else are you going to do with that die? That die, again, like all those pieces cost thousands of dollars for each one of those things. So all the pieces of this dragon, and like, they're not necessarily going to use these pieces again. I again, not talking out of school, but like, I can't imagine that every dragon, if there's 5 of them, are going to be the same size as this. Maybe there's one more. I don't know.
He already said that they weren't. That they were trying.
There could be smaller. There could be worms. Like a sea dragon, which is like no wings and like
they'll have variants. They'll have like a 6th, 7th, 8th.
I think
probably parts that are used.
Yes, there's going to be some part reused, but not one for one.
Not
it's
just
not
a repaint.
No,
not just a repaint. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're going to get some use out of that tooling. They're not going to just do one and abandon.
No.
It.
Yeah. But I will say, like for a company.
Figures.
Yeah,
like look at Wave 1 in Mythic Legions, right? And you look at the parts, right? And it was like all these same parts, but it's how you mix it and match it. I think it would be something similar like that. I think you're gonna, maybe you get reuse out of the tail, but not, out of the body, or maybe you get reuse out of the legs, but not, whatever.
Right.
So,
but what I told him today is like these guys are a company of, yes, they're businessmen. Yes, they want to make money. But they're also people that want to just make cool toys and they want to have them out there, within reason, right? They have to do it within reason. But I think they will like put out a piece that they'll never use again for whatever reason, just to make a dragon, which is like, it's going to be USS Flag level.
Oh, it's huge.
Legendary. This is going to be
happen.
legendary when it comes out.
So I was, there was a post in the Cabal that it might have been a little bit of a bait post, a trap. It was like, what's the maximum you would pay, right? And people were putting their maximum in. They were like, I put in 1,000. I said the max I would probably pay is 1,000, right? I know it's not going to be that much, but like I said that. And then one guy was in the chat. It felt like bait because one guy was in the chat and he was saying, well, if all of you guys are saying 500, then, or 600 or 700, then they have no reason to make it less. You guys are just like the cause of high prices, and they're just going to make it that. And it's like, sure, maybe like Hasbro is going to, make everything at the max possible price that they can. But like these guys want to make... They want to make volume. They want to make their profit off of the volume, not like,
well,
you know what I mean? So like, because if you can get the volume up, you can get the number of add-ons up, and you can like make the more fans have. Like it's just such a backwards.
When people are coming out saying, "Oh, this is going to be $800 minimum," and you come out and it's 500 or whatever in that range, 500 to 600, and people start going, "Oh." Damn.
Listen, it's no different than when they used to do the all-star voting, right? And people would be like, "Oh, well, we did a poll in the Cabal, and all these people voted for this one, and how come that one didn't win?" Like, first of all, the Cabal is a very small portion of their total customers, and the people that reply to those posts are even a smaller portion of that. So 5 people on there saying that they're going to pay $1,000 for a dragon is not the market research that they're going to go to and go, "Oh, well, these 5 people will pay for it, so that means everybody will." Right.
So I mean,
I would pay $1,000 for that dragon.
I would too, but
for me, and being in so many different toy groups, toy discussions, toy sex, like being all over the toy world.
Toy sex.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole different thing. Different show. Check out my Osley fans.
Toy.
$3.99 a month.
Osley fans.
Osley fans, $3.99 a month. But yeah, so the that dragon was everywhere.
Mhm.
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel Legends people were talking about it.
Bottom-
Joe
have a
fans
triple
were
board.
talking about it. Like, that thing was all over the place. It's going to appeal to so many more people beyond just Mythic Legions. Sheer volume of people trying to buy this thing, as long as it's marked at the right price. And I know I've said it on quite a few live streams where we've done nothing but talk about like the crowd funds and HasLabs and everything like that and how those really work. There's a sweet spot for pricing, and it is between $350 to $400. So you talk.
I would say $500, but yeah, $350. Yeah,
depending on what your stretch goals are. The
I mean, look at that. Look at the
more
cantina. You know what I mean? Like,
I look at the Hiss tank a lot because you got the electronics, you got everything else, and you know, as much as we think electronics are cheap, there's also engineering time that has to go into that they're paying for. You know, when you talk about the price of these things, it's not just cost of materials. You're paying people's salaries that have to design this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Paying for tooling, everything else that goes into it. That's a part of that cost too. It's not just.
But you look. I'm just going to say, you look at Hasbro, and they have to hire people to do this stuff.
They do. It's
Eric
not
Treadaway.
in-house.
Eric Treadaway has done every piece of this dragon. Sculpted. Okay, and you got to make your money. But you know, there is a savings there. Like I think that they, like what Curtis said. Yeah,
you know, Todd's so reasonably priced because there's nobody above him. He's not hiring all these other people. He still has his hands with his people that does all that stuff in house. For McFarlane.
You still gotta have. Still gotta pay people to sculpt them. You know what I mean?
Save a lot of money by not wearing shoes as well.
I hate to interrupt.
Like you're not buying shoes.
I hate to interrupt, but Trevor was just getting ready to say that I was right about something, so we need to make sure we give him.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't even remember what you said. But no,
thanks, Oz.
Sorry,
you're welcome. This is what I do.
I was gonna get a.
I think okay. I do remember volume. I think they do want to get volume. I think they want to get people again, and I think Bill was saying the same thing. They want to get more people buying this.
You see how he did that? Like he initially gave me credit, but then he's like, "I want to give Bill part of the credit."
I have to because it hurts. It hurts. It like burns. Literally burns.
You can filter it right through me. Just easy
Trevor.
Yeah, I think if they can get more people going, oh my God, you're going to offer this for, and again, I don't even want to throw out a price because I'm in the
let's say
circle, but let's $500. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that's incredible. Like, I can't pass that up for $500 because this is like the flag again. Like as a kid, I didn't get this, but now I'm going to get this. And it will go with Marvel Legends, with Thor, or you know, Doctor Strange, or you know,
Ziggy doesn't even collect 1/12 scale. He doesn't collect Mythic Legions. He enjoys looking at it. He enjoys how excited I get about it. And he said, "That's my first Mythic Legions figure. Is that damn dragon?"
Yeah, I've heard people say that. You know,
there's
if it's not $800,
right?
You know what I mean?
Again,
so it's got to be that sweet spot, and you know,
and
even the base. Forget about the extra stuff. Forget about the extra head and the flames. That's for like super collectors, maybe.
Ryan,
you know,
I want it because I want the flames.
So,
But you know, third-party people will be putting out different flames and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
And a saddle. People are like, it's got to have a saddle.
Saddle's gonna
it's
have.
Not that, no. They're gods, and they're not going to be saddles. But some third-party company is going to come out with a saddle.
Yeah.
I'm putting a saddle on it to ride it myself.
I'm putting a saddle on myself for the dragon to ride on me.
I need a picture of that.
Yeah. I believe it, Joe. I believe it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm not one that ever is in favor of speculative buying. You know, like just you know, buying extras and waiting for it to go up, and you know, and especially not when it's something that's going to take up, you know, probably your entire garage. That being said,
ship.
Yeah, that being said, I can easily see this being something that after it comes out and you have some photographers taking pictures of it, people reviewing it, that people are going to be like, "Holy shit! How come I didn't buy this? I need one, and now I'm going to pay twice what it was throughout the
something like this, like you don't even need to justify it fitting in with any other collection. It can be just a
It's a
one-off,
It could be a standalone,
crazy
yeah.
awesome
It's a
action figure.
centerpiece
Because where
itself.
are you gonna put it? Like you're not gonna put it on your shelf with your Marvel Legends. You're gonna put it on its own pedestal, its own table, right? Like so.
You're
it
gonna
can-
find a glass tabletop to put on top of it, and it becomes your table.
I was gonna
Right,
make
the wings just hold up the.
Just holding it up. I heard those.
I hope
rats.
they can
Let's
do
just
some
put it in
things
the
to
back
get
of
it
the
out to
truck.
like the D&D community and things like that, and just fantasy. You know, like because people will buy it just to have. It's almost a statue, but it moves. Like you could put it in any pose you want. You know what I mean?
The timing of them releasing the dragon and the role playing game at the same time can't be coincidental.
Yeah,
you know.
I know.
Sure.
Well, you were showing those ones that you've gotten, right? The older Dungeons and Dragons, and you said even now they go for like big time money, right? Isn't it like $300 for that smaller one that you showed?
Right,
You know,
and it was under $100 when I bought it. Yeah,
yeah. So like if you've got D&D folks that are paying $300 for this size dragon, what are they going to pay for the one that we're talking about? So,
and being a D&D person, I can confirm a lot. So
yeah,
I will pay a lot for that dragon. You
know?
But they always, you know, the horsemen aren't unfair with their prices. You know, if you look at the Reign of the Beasts all-in wave, $320 for those figures is a freaking steal.
I got to throw this out here because so I'm on the Savage Crucible fan board, right? And there's quite a few artists that I know over there that do a great job, and I love seeing their art. And somebody had posted about the dragon, and it was mostly positive comments. I saw one person that said, "I'll wait for D20 to do one that'll be better and cheaper." And I'm like, "Where? Like you're fucking nuts! Like, have you seen like their D20 wolves and stuff compared to like the mounts that Four Horsemen put out? Like they're not less expensive.
If the wolf is $125,
right?
Their dragon's going to be $1,000.
Like $1,000.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Where does he get cheaper from?
Where
There's
do you get the
nothing cheap
D20 is
about
going to be
D20.
cheaper than yeah? I'm like, I don't know. You know, some people just want to hate, but I was like, that comment just blew me away. Like, why you would think that D20 making that would be cheaper?
I want to know where that guy works, where he thinks D20 is cheap.
Yeah,
Because, I mean,
AliExpress 2 years from now, like maybe, like
right. I mean, I've seen some of those wolves go on clearance because Big Bad Toy Store ordered too much or whatever. But that's the only time that they're cheap.
Yeah,
and even then it's
they're good, but their articulation and the structure of those things is not anywhere near the structure of the horses or anything like that. Right. So
I mean, I've got some D20 stuff. I do like it, but it is nowhere near the price value that what you get from Allegiance. Yeah, so.
Or the paint apps are a big
right.
difference too.
Steph says thinking dragon furniture mount of furniture now. Snake Mountain from Super 7 starting price $650-ish. I think it was
800 shipped. I got it.
Yeah.
So
Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
I gave mine to Len LaGuardia, by the way, because I love him.
I really honestly don't think it's going to be that much. I really think they're going to keep it reasonable.
Well, I think it depends on what options you pick with it too.
Yeah. So. That's the thing. If it ends up being like a wave, as stretch goals, like I'm gonna want all of that.
Yeah, I think stretch goals are the way to go, because I think that like if you give that base and it's the same price and it's a certain price for that, you know what I mean? And like I think that's the way to go.
I so want a Rhaegar version 2 as one of the stretch goals.
That would be fucking.
I was kind of thinking about
again, no knowledge. I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I'm not
sure. They
sure.
said that they would never do a version 2 because it was a tribute.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I think they'll stick.
Don't yuck my yum.
But they could do. They could do like another
version of that.
Yeah, in that faction, right? Like maybe similar colors,
and even in that style, just not use the same name. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now we've seen that faction logo again,
now.
right? From the newest wave. So
right back.
But he hasn't been put in there yet. I haven't seen him. I've only seen.
He's in there.
He's in there.
He's
got 3 members.
He got moved over from Legacy or Noble Bear.
I think he's still in both
this morning.
Gotcha.
He's in both, I think.
Okay. Because all I saw was the cultists and Arazak the other day.
Well, because remember, it's supposed to be a secret faction.
Uncle Bob says, look at HasLab and the price point of their items. Hasbro's all about money. Four Horsemen are not. They know they're going to keep the price point as low as possible. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to make it and they talked about this. They don't have shareholders that they got to answer to or anything like that. Yeah. They can make the price to where they can make a profit and be able to continue their business, and at the same time offer great value to their customers. And I think that's where they're going to find the line. They're going to go, okay, here's where we can profit, but still take care of our customers, and that's what they'll.
And they have a deep interest in this getting funded.
Oh,
because they've already put a ton of money into this. They've put factory time into it. They've put Eric's time into it. They've put Sherry's time into it.
The whole story that they've created for the future of their line is based on this whole thing. Yep. So this first dragon being successful potentially leads to other dragons and other characters and other factions and all that kind of stuff. So I totally agree with you, Bill.
It's got to happen now.
Yeah. Dylan, looks like you brought out one of those D&D ones. Or no, this is which one's this?
This is SH Monster Arts Monster Hunter Rathalos.
Yeah.
And I want to say what's online right now is what this retail for. It was $170.
Okay.
And this thing is, barely bigger than a standard Mythic Legion.
Yeah.
So just buy what they price their stuff at, regular Godzilla figures being around 100, 120. The size of this, I feel like whatever they ask is going to be fair for what you're going to get. This thing is honestly, for what it is kind of a piece of garbage. Because
I think what will be interesting, I think what will be interesting to see is how long the crowdfunding campaign is and how they go about marketing it to the entire toy community. Because for the longest time, they've been handling all this stuff directly. They've been dealing with their own individual fans, and they've been reaching out to folks via word of mouth, via conventions, things like that. This is something that you need to get out to the toy world, to the, to the people that do buy Hasbro and buy, Mattel and all this kind of other stuff. So how long is the campaign going to be? How long are you going to have to reach those goals? And how are you getting that word out? I think is going to be very interesting to see.
It's interesting. Like I was thinking this morning. I don't know. I don't think I was in the shower. I think it was after the shower. You don't need that picture. Anyway, like the fact that they were, it's come out now, and they have to do this because this is a G-Con thing, right? They have to do this around LegionsCon. But aside from DesignerCon, there's nothing else. ToyCon New Jersey, but that's an insider, retail type of thing.
Yeah.
Like Hasbro has done things where they brought Giant Man or they brought the Engine of Vengeance, which failed, to New York Comic Con before. There's not a lot of opportunities before this goes live to put this in front of, like, physically in front of the people who weren't at LegionsCon. We all saw it and we were like, oh my God, this thing is incredible.
Honestly,
like there's not a lot of opportunity to put it in front of people physically before it goes up for sale, which
that's true.
Because it's January, right?
I think
like
it's not a lot of time.
One strategy they can use is what a lot of the Kickstarter people have been doing, which is like network and
do
get
circuit,
on podcasts
circuit,
and like do the YouTube circuit, but like don't just do this our circle.
No,
right. Get out there and get out, like get Eric, get Jeremy, get everybody out.
Yeah,
on
I mean,
these
you got
shows.
You got Robo now. You got Shartimus talking about this thing. You got the big hitters. They're amazing.
Dan Larson was there.
Yeah. Dan Larson. Like if you can get that prototype out and show people how it moves, like they did with the butter dragon there that they had, and maybe a more painted way, paint that up, make it look good and like show people got to see how this is going to move. It's going to be the biggest thing about this. Like it looks great sitting there in a pose, but I want to know how it's going to move, and
right,
it's got to happen.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job bringing in all those folks. You got Nerdy talking about this stuff now, and he's actually a vendor for Four Horsemen. You got you bring in Robo, bring him into intern and show him what the Legions community is all about. Like they're doing a good job of networking through a lot of these folks. I mean, I love Bill. I love his reviews and stuff, but the people that are watching Bill already know about Mythic Legions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, that's not a surprise. hitting some of these other reviewers that don't ever talk about it is, I think, going to be a key strategy. And I was actually giving Robo some shit because when PowerCon last year, he's at the event, he does a review of PowerCon, doesn't once mention the Four Horsemen, and all indications, I wasn't there, but all indications were the line was out the door. They were the highlight of the show. Right. And so I gave him shit afterwards. I'm like, how do you do a review of PowerCon and not even mention the Four Horsemen? And he's like, well, I just don't collect that stuff. And I'm like, I get you don't collect it, but to not even mention how popular it was and how excited people were, like come on, throw him a bone there.
It's my favorite thing about Robo being there this year, because I've been doing that for years, Curtis. Like, I love Robo. I love the Fwoosh. I've been watching him, forever. Watch Saturday morning is like my thing. I'm down here shooting or something, and I'm like, Mythic Legions line, and he's been great to me. I told him this on. When Greg and I were talking about to him, I'm like, he said some very nice things about the figure obscura stuff, like photography is like Monkey King is like, well, how can I not, look at this picture, whatever. But like he doesn't talk about the regular waves, and he's like, well, it's not really 6-inch. I don't need technically, like I don't really know much about it. And I'm like, yeah, but man, this is come on, man.
Yeah.
Like every time a wave come out, and he didn't cover it. But I think we've changed that now. So
I know you were surprised to hear me say that I gave somebody shit, because that's not really my MO.
It's not like you at all, man. You're like so just chill. Yeah.
So I got a question for you, Trevor, because I don't know that I've heard anybody ask this since we've seen the reveal, but we've seen. Through intern, we kind of get to see how you do your shots and how you set up, and we've seen you do some behind the scenes stuff. But this dragon is freaking huge. Like with your setup and how you normally do things, and I know you normally do like the monitor in the back and your lighting and stuff. What kind of challenges did that present with this massive thing trying to get a good shot on that?
Yeah, it was great. It was scary because I knew I had to go to the studio. Now, since Eric's brother, Brad has been there, like he's upgraded. They moved the studio to a bigger space, but I wasn't really sure like what it was going to be like. I brought a ton of my stuff with me, soft boxes, but there wasn't enough headroom above because it's so high, and they have tables that are like a certain height, and you can't reduce them. So I had a bounce light off the ceiling. It was a lot of guerrilla stuff, and there was some filling in of. What's that? Gorilla confirmed.
Gorilla confirmed. Trevor said it.
There's a lot of gorilla stuff, and I was worried because like this is it. You know what I mean? Like I've done some great shots for the rest of this waves, but like this is the fucking dragon. Like if this doesn't look good, oof, man. And I took some shots. I gotta say, when I first started out, I was like, this is not going well. This is not looking like.
Well, I saw them move like the curtain and trying to bring it out. Like they were struggling with space, and I'm like, how did Trevor take this photo? Like I don't even.
It was on a table and it was on a stand. I mean, it was all posed on that rock that Bill built, and it was beautiful. But like you could only really open the jaw. Like I didn't want to touch anything else. I didn't want to touch the neck.
You didn't want to be the guy that broke it.
Fuck no. So like, but it looked great. It was posed really well, and. Then I just came upon that background, and I'm like, the sunlight coming in, like that feels to me like I'm all about those Dragon magazines, literally Dragon magazine, and those fantasy, Hildebrandt artwork from the 70s and 80s, man. I love that stuff. It's my lifeblood. So like, it hit me, and I don't know, the lighting came to it was, I don't know, it's kismet. It was like it just worked. So,
tapestry of light.
Yeah, I got
awesome.
I always think I get lucky, but maybe there's some skill involved there. I'm not sure.
I know they said they're gonna, do this like thing that's kind of the what did they call it? Like the history of the dragon, or the like leading up to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool, man.
Do you know if any of your like kind of the photo shoot itself made it into that?
So Brad was like there, and he was like, "You don't mind if I just walk in every once in a while?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, whatever." I'm like in my own world, like I'm just oblivious to anything going on. Until Chris came in. Chris is very
snapped you.
Hey, what's going on, man? So he took some pictures, but I guess according to Jeremy, Brad got some footage. I didn't think he
Oh,
had.
good.
I didn't even see him there. So he got some footage of it, but he's got footage of Eric creating this thing, being printed, I'm sure, and painted by Sherry and I guess photographed by me. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool, man. I'm telling you, this is like the flag. Like everybody who grew up, I wasn't even into G.I. Joe, but like that was like, my God, if you knew a kid who had the flag, like that was like, whoa, dude, you are, and it was the creation of that, and the fact that got out into the public. It's like that. It's like that now.
I got Jeff in the middle here.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Chris George gym trip to China got some really good footage of the Dragon Beam birth then, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it was even in that stage, but man, that would be cool.
That was like
maybe they did.
Yeah, it could be.
It might have. It might have. Yeah, it might have.
There was that big blurred out object in the background of one of the photos.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
was
of
totally
yellow.
joking,
Was it
saying that's
butter
the
color?
dragon. Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
I want to also say, thinking about big projects, the first HasLab had that vibe too. The katana, the sail barge, like that. Like they haven't done that again, right? Where they did like a book and they did like all that stuff where like the production was like a big deal. Like they really haven't gone back to that with HasLab, and this feels like an opportunity for the Horsemen to kind of like do that sort of thing with this documentary.
That's
and
true.
Like, yeah, it's gonna be cool.
In fact, that's great, Bill. Like, that's another stretch goal. I would love like a little like picture book or something like that of the making of. You know what I mean? Like they had, when I bought the Millennium Falcon, the Lego Millennium Falcon. There's a whole story of how they created.
A lot of the Lego sets they come with like a story. Yeah, totally.
I definitely feel that. So I remember Jeremy saying during G-Con that he would love to see this thing, or maybe it was Eric, on a USS flag.
No, I would love to photograph that.
I've made it my mission to make that happen.
You have one?
No, but a
Lawrence.
punk with toys loves to bring up how he still has his 100% complete USS flag.
Where is he?
He is in Michigan,
and I know
Michigan.
Listen, I know he really is in Michigan because Joe was on his show last night and he put up his hand to show where he's at. And if you put up your hand, then we know you're really in Michigan. Yeah, it's the only state where they got to throw their hand up to show you where they live.
Really?
That's because they want to, say don't shoot.
Unless you're in New York, which you just do that.
That's different. That's a different hand. Yeah,
a little different.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Different configuration.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm just
throwing
saying
it out there.
I know Chris Kelly has his on display as well. And yeah. So
doesn't Jonathan?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Does he have one on display?
Yeah.
Hedgehog has a flag?
He has a flag, and he's
well, shoot, he's right there in
right there.
like.
There you
go.
Right, that's it. I'm good. So I'm going.
Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
Jonathan is gonna order a dragon. Come on, he'll have his own. Nobody needs to take it to him.
There you go.
So in case anyone was wondering and watching, this thing sucks.
I know. I've seen you break it like 4 times.
I'm gluing it together because I can't get it back to the pose it was in. This thing's awful.
You know what doesn't fall apart? This free McFarlane, whatever the hell this thing is.
Oh, is that from Avatar?
The paint is awesome on it. I love the paint on the wings.
Oh yeah, and if you got a UV light that's UV
Dirk,
react.
can I get you to paint me a knight in those colors of those wings right there via airbrush? There you go.
Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Commission done.
I'll send you some pictures if you need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you do an awesome job on that. All right. Let's see. We heard from Dylan. We heard from Bill. Everybody else. Memorable moment that you took with you from the con that's gonna linger with you. Yeah, I got Joe.
So during G-Con, of course, I was slightly excited when the reveal of the role-playing book, Mythic Legion role-playing book.
Yep.
When Jeremy said, in the Legion's Quest, guys, if you had waited just a little longer, which the name drop was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I got to yell, I'll just kill him and we'll start over. And that was an awesome moment for me. And a little behind the scenes, now that was public. More private is they showed the knoll, and Trevor happened to be walking by, and I said, Trevor, Knolls are canon now, so you guys know what you're going to be fighting in the next game.
You know what's killing you next, Trevor. Yeah,
exactly.
And then
I keeled over and died right as he said that. Like actually, I fell on the floor.
And then they announced the dragon, and I said, "Well, I know how I'm ending a Legion's quest."
There you go. Nice.
Picturing the Knolls now dancing around like the hyenas and Lion King, and Trevor saying, "Be prepared."
Yeah. Jeff, you had your hand up.
Just people saying, or well, Bill even said it. He was like, "Haven't you been in the community for a very long time? Like, I've seen you around and stuff, and know your name or face." And that happened with a few people, and I'm like, "Nope, it's been this year. I've just put myself out there. I went full on with Cosmic Legions, and I'm
and the leather and becoming the Legend Daddy."
You started that. You, Jordan, and Van started all that.
I did have a fun moment with Jeff, because for those people that don't know, Jeff is like 3 feet tall. So I brought him.
That's why I didn't see him.
Jeff's as tall as people thought Joe was.
Right, exactly.
Pocket boy thighs.
I gave Jeff, and he was so happy, and he was looking at me, and I think there was actually sparkles in his eyes. It was like all of a sudden I was in an anime. It was kind of surreal that way. Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, let's see. Who haven't we heard from? Ryan, hit us with something.
It wasn't so. I would say the memorable moment for me was seeing Amber actually come out of her shell a little bit more.
Oh, dude, that Legion Lady episode.
Legion's Ladies? That was crazy.
Dude, she was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And her she'd be like, knock it off, Ryan. This is my story. It's not your turn to talk. And then 2 seconds later, hey, Ryan, what was that? What was that figure? What was that one that we be quiet until I need your help.
I love it. Awesome. She was great.
Yeah, that was good. Also, she made it to intern for a day. She was late. There was some things going on and stuff, but she made it. The streak is alive. Amber for a day continues. So there we go.
So Maverick changing his YouTube name to Maverick the Robot.
I love awesome.
Yep. Jeremy DeWitt was outside. I don't know. It was like 3 a.m. I don't know. He's like, I think Maverick's a robot. He laughs like this. And he was like doing.
It's got to be like Mavbot 2000 or something like that.
And he was doing that whole thing, and then him and I had a conversation about was it Small Wonder from the 80s? The little girl was the robot. And he's all, that's it. Maverick is Tall Wonder. I'm gonna make that meme.
Tall Wonder.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think I spent more time with Maverick than anyone else, because I spent the entire G-Con sitting right next to Maverick, and then waiting in line that whole morning.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Tanya says such a great episode. Love it. That episode of Legion's Ladies was awesome, and
yeah, it was.
There was a lot of live shows this time around, which is kind of a growing thing in LegionsCon now. And they were all great, but I will say I think Legion's Ladies is the best. I'll put it above ours. I think I'll put it above even Purple Gang and My Wife Was Gonna Kill Me. I think that good, Legion's Ladies episode to start the week, and Jeremy can do his whole, he started it with Mythic Conversations, but whatever.
Aside from Pete talking for like 45 minutes, but it was good. It was good, besides Pete.
But that show with them, and they had all these guests come up there. Mira was fantastic. Pete was fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. That's what I was going to say. Pete saying, follow that, and then going back up.
Yeah, Robo not even knowing that he was going to be called up. Like, oh.
Robo was hiding around the corner, and then they saw him and called him up.
I know.
Pete was amazing, and he thought. I mean, he walked off stage thinking he was top shit, and then Mira went up there, and she blew him away.
Crushed.
All right, Dirk, hit us with one memorable moment from the weekend you took away.
This whole time I've been thinking about moments and stuff, and there've been a ton. I think one though that stuck out, Elijah, Captain Firebeard. Such a great guy. Him and I, chit chat and stuff, but like we really connected at LegionsCon. Last year I sold him a Valiant Knight and shipped it to him. I had to ship it to his girlfriend at the time. They broke up.
Right.
Tried to get it from her. She was just like, nah, not having it.
She's
So
like,
he
I'm
never got
keeping it. I love this Valiant Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And brought another one with me and, gave it to him, was just like, hey, like, you bought it from me, you didn't get it. No one's fault. Like, here's another one kind of thing.
That's awesome.
And at the end of the day, he surprised me with, he went and bought me like some painted heads from people, some diorama stuff. And then I got Emil and Nate's book that I completely missed. So it meant a lot because some of the things that I missed out on getting myself, he grabbed for me and got Emil to sign it. I still got to get Nate's signature on it, but just such a awesome gesture on his part. Really just kind of meant a lot.
I was rooming with Elijah, and like when you gave him that figure, he came up to the room, and that was like his mission. He's like, I've got to do something good for him. Like he told me the whole story, and he's just like, he went into like super focus mode. Like I've got to get Dirk some stuff to pay him back because this is too awesome. So
Awesome.
except with a British accent.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Trevor, hit us. What you got?
Dude, I gotta say that like as great as everything was, like my wife coming on Saturday there and walking her around, like I think, did I tell the story here? I don't know. I've told
Oh, you did on Legion's Lounge. You talked a little bit about it.
I walked from my booth. I was going to take her around your side, past Jesse, through Jesse. I introduced her to Jesse. And before I even got to Jesse's booth, some guy I've never met before came up and stopped me and was like, dude, are you 1/6 shooter? Can I take a selfie with you? I was like, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like it was
all my glory.
Perfect. It was perfect. And after I got past your booth, another guy came up like, dude, oh my God, those pictures. I'm like, she's like, you're paying these people. I'm like, I'm not. It was perfect.
It's the exact
like, I couldn't have asked for
opposite
more.
of paying them. You're getting them addicted to
I know.
crack.
It was
So
perfect.
walking out, like leaving
But-
LegionsCon, did she feel like you were more of a nerd or less of a nerd?
Yeah, bigger nerd, but more of like a nerd in a big pond who like the other
Gotcha.
nerds look up to. I think that's what it
Okay.
is. No, but like
King of the
everybody
nerd.
everybody was so super nice. Like she came away again. She's not into this. She's like, wow. She's like, wow. She knows like Steph. Steph has been in my house. Like she knows Nate, obviously. She's like, everybody is so super nice and like the creativity is off the charts. I introduced her to Cornboy and Eric, and she, as a marketer, she was like, what you've got here is like amazing. You know what I mean? Like you can't build this. Like you have to groom this by being
Very organic,
like
yeah.
I said, like I told her, I'm like, she said to Eric, everybody's so nice. I'm like, it comes from the top. Like these guys are like so super cool and nice to everybody and just community builders like that. You can't grow that. It has to be organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. I love that whole part of it. She might come back next year. So
yes, awesome. Yeah, we're doing this couples episode on Sunday.
I'm trying to talk her into that. We may be a last minute thing. I don't know.
Okay, because I was like, man, I should ask her. And I was like, I don't know if his wife was that into it. So I didn't say anything, but I think it's going to be a fun episode, just kind of talking through some of that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah.
Steph here says my favorite memorable pickup was being able to spend a little valuable time with my pal Curtis, getting filled up in his wit, fun, and kindness. Set for the year. Thanks. It was fun hanging out with Steph. She helped me purchase my first Goliath. I did get one gifted to me from Jordan a few weeks ago, but she helped me purchase my first one. which was cool, just going around there and seeing what those guys had and have her kind of educate me a bit. And then she showed me her and Jackie's unique greeting, which you'll have to ask her about, which had me and Darla very much in tears laughing. So yeah, that was fun. But I think for me, memorable moment, like I wouldn't say that I don't try to be a gatekeeper, but I am very protective of the community. And I, when new people come in and they're just like balls to the wall right from the get-go, I'm kind of a little bit, I don't know, it makes me a little nervous. And I'm like, let me see if this person is like, before I let them into my inner circle, like, who are they? What are they about? Like this kind of thing. And I think I was kind of that way a little bit with a certain individual on screen, and it's Dirk, coming in, just doing all this great work and being all, the airbrush and doing like cool stuff and everything. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what is he about? Like, why should I not like this guy? And there's really nothing not to like. Like, the dude is just fucking awesome. And we really hadn't spent much time together. So, it was nice to spend time with him. And then, I talked about that, after my wife was going to kill me thing, I grabbed that bag of trash and brought it down to him. And in my head, like I have a panic disorder. That's one of the reasons that kept me away from LegionsCon the first couple of years. And, so as I'm walking down there with this bag of trash in my head, I'm like thinking of all the ways that this could go bad. And this guy's going to be like, why are you giving me a bag of trash? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, whatever. And I hand him this trash and his eyes glow. And he's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, look at all this great stuff. And he was like, and then even afterwards, I was like, okay, do you want me to like go throw that away now because the joke is over? And he's like, no, I got it. Like, no, don't worry. And so then, the rest of the weekend goes on, and we had a great show on Sunday night. Really enjoyed talking to folks and just having a good time. And then at the end, like Darla and I are heading to our room, and we get a message from Van asking us our room number, which is never a good sign. It's just one of those things.
Van wants your room
number. Yeah, if Van's asking for your room number, you just don't know what to expect.
Respond.
Yeah, so I sent him my room number, and then me and Darla stayed up for the next hour and a half waiting for the shoe to drop, and nothing happened. We didn't hear anything. They didn't come to the door. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that was nothing. The next day, Darla and I are packing up everything. We're getting ready to leave. She's going to go get one of the big carts for the hotel. She opens the door, and just in front of our door is just filled with trash. I mean, just bags of stuff. And in the middle of it is this sign that says, like, thanks for your friendship. Tonight you dine like a king. Love, Dirk. And I was like, just the best, like just the absolute best. I was dying laughing, and I was like, man, I love this fucking guy. He is so great. I kept that. I kept the little bag that he wrote the note on. That is also going to be going up in my customizing room because it meant a lot. So Dirk, thank you. Love you, man. It was great spending time with you. And you are now part of the inner circle. So, but being part of the inner circle, as Trevor can tell you, means that I also have to give you tons of shit. Yeah. So
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck over the next year, at least until like 362 days from now. There are people like my brother. I am TJ Williams, who's on a lot of
HS Silent.
The HS Silent, who are introverts, like, and what you were saying, Curtis, like you were in that kind of category, like you're not an introvert, but like just, a little socially, awkward, hard to believe now.
Closed off.
I know, right?
Hard to believe. But I think this community brings that out in people. Like they're just like, there's people from all walks of life, and they're just accepting. Yeah. I mean, Joe, exactly. Like it's, my brother can't wait to come back next year, and it brought him out of his shell. And I know, Cloud is this the same way. People like that. It's fantastic, man. It's such a great community for that. You know what I mean? Like people are just accepting, welcoming, and like, hey, man, I'm the same way. Like, come out and like just hang out, and everybody just will be cool, and you'll have a great time. And they do.
How could you not see? Because like this wasn't just my first LegionsCon. This was my first convention. I know everybody heard it a lot. I repeated it many, many times, but I'd never been to a convention before. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to be kind of a wallflower because I've never spent time with people before. So not that I would be excluded, but I just kind of stand off in the corner and just kind of enjoy the show. No chance of that happening. Like as soon as I walked to the door, people were like, Joe, and even Trevor, who might have been 3 sheets to the wind. I don't know. But the first time that you saw me, you were like, Joe, and you actually like ran over to me and gave me a hug.
Oh no, I wasn't drunk at all. Like I couldn't wait to see you, man. Come on.
I don't know. Right. I figured, if you were running that there might have been some enhancements there.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was just very excited to see you.
Right. But that's the thing is like so many people were excited to see me, and I wasn't expecting that. You leave the con feeling like $1 million. Yeah. Even and some of the conversations, because I feel bad. A lot of people I introduce themselves like I should know who they were. I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people introduce themselves like this is my name on YouTube, and didn't ring a bell, but and then
I told people to do that while we were on Clubhouse, so that may have been part of it.
No, but I felt bad because I didn't recognize the username. But then stand for 20 minutes to a half an hour and just have an
That's what happens when you're a celebrity, Joe.
But
yeah, I couldn't even walk 5 feet without my wife seeing people come up for my autograph.
Right. So, but you know what? I'm not a celebrity, but I felt like one.
You are.
By the end of the first day, it was amazing.
I'm married to one.
And
you are.
So it was just an incredible experience for me. I'm totally sold on the LegionsCon experience. Like anybody who hasn't been to a con, I can highly recommend that one because you will not feel like an outsider or feel like you don't belong. Like everyone is so accepting and so loving. Absolutely. It's amazing. And you don't have to be on YouTube to feel like that. So,
no. If you feel awkward, just come up to people, start talking about stuff, man. Like we're all in the same boat. You know what I mean? We have some different extraneous stuff, but like we're all unified by this, and I think it's
watching shows and seeing people's faces is actually a great way. If you're an introvert, it's a great way to like, okay, I recognize that person. Like that's an in to like just be like, hey, introduce myself. Hey, I watch your show. Nice to meet you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that. It's just an easy way to break the ice.
Now, I would only talk to people that I know have given me super chats, though. So,
It's the only reason
I'm not on a show with super chats.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, Jesse has them, but it's not my channel.
Right.
So I would be remiss if I didn't mention also the Return of the King, Cornboy showing up, being at Intern, being at G-Con, hearing his voice just bellowing out through the con, taking some work from Pete, but that's fine. But yeah, just seeing him there was amazing. Some people may not know, but when he was on Legion's Ladies earlier this year, he had mentioned that his favorite character was Brontus in the line, and he just wished that he had some like fur shorts, some blue fur shorts for him. And immediately my wife was like, okay, I'm making Cornboy some blue fur shorts. And she like started that week, started working on it. And we kind of messed around with some different things and took a Brontus apart, took like the skirt piece off and stuff and tried some things. And we found one that worked really well. She even did like an interchangeable logo where it had like a Fantastic Four logo, but it's got like Velcro or something. You can pull it off. And then there's a Four Horsemen logo you can put on there instead.
Nice.
And so we mailed that off to him and he loved it. He was really excited. Well, on Sunday, he actually brought it to the convention and he said, hey, I would like to display this on your table if that's okay. And it's like, you're Cornboy, you can do whatever the hell you want. But yeah, we had it on display throughout the day. And a lot of people were asking questions about it and stuff. And then afterwards he gave Darla a big old hug, and it was just awesome to see him. I know he had not seen the venue at all, like, cause he missed it all last year. And just being able to be there for, the big reveal with the dragon and all the different things that they were doing and the double anniversary. It was just really cool to have him there for sure.
I will say, just comment on how cool all of the owners are. I know some of you guys are well familiar with that, but again, for me, first experience. I was standing outside smoking when Cornboy showed up on Thursday, and he just stopped and chatted with me and the group of people that I was with for a few minutes, before heading in. And I was like, wow, that is really cool. And then on Friday, I was wearing a Gothotropolis t-shirt, and Jim was walking by, and he said, I always did love that shirt. And I thought that was an awesome exchange, because he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to actually make that effort to say, I always did love that shirt. Like, for me, that was a great moment. And then, just all of them were Eric on Sunday, I think it was Saturday night or Sunday, he was walking by, and I just stopped and shook his hand and said, hey, thank you guys for everything that you do. I really appreciate everything that you guys have done to put this all together. And he said, it's because of you guys that we're able to do this. So thank you. They're just these great, and these are the owners. They don't have to be that nice, but they are. They're just good people, and I appreciate that very much. Go ahead, Jeff.
Down in front.
So it was Sunday. I think it was like just as the community room was closing up and stuff, and I was walking out, going to the main lobby, and I saw somebody in the shadows in that area where the dragon was, where there was a couch. I was like, oh wait, that's Joe Viteri over there. I haven't gotten to say hi or talk to him about his show, his con that he's created over the years with Jeremy. I'm gonna go, say hi and shake his hand and congratulate him on this, awesome show this year. And immediately he was like, "Are you coming back next year?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm coming back." And he's like, "That's all that matters." So it was really great to meet him. And it's not Horseman, but even though he's involved in the community, everybody's not gatekeeping. Everybody's just come in, be a part of it, keep coming.
So just to kind of real quick circle back to the CB thing, Trevor, as somebody that is working with the studio and kind of with all the reveals and everything that was going on, I know for that dragon reveal they brought all the folks out and they were kind of surrounding the room and stuff. Can you just talk about kind of what having CB there meant to you guys as a whole?
Oh man, I mean, the day that Nate and I came in, it was Wednesday. We stopped at the studio. I dropped some stuff off just for getting ready for intern for a day, and I don't think I'm telling tales out of school here, but Eric Treadaway said that CB wasn't feeling well, and I think he told some people this, so it's not it's not like a secret, but he had some complications and he had to get some medical attention. And it was almost like we didn't know that day leaving Wednesday if he was going to be there again. Like, it was through the day. And I'm like, oh my God, it was heartbreaking. Like, we didn't know if he was going to be there. So to see him there the next day, to hear him, making the cries, across the auditorium there, or the room, it was like, this is great. And God, man, him starting out talking about the 25th anniversary, the 10th year, almost breaking up, controlling himself,
and then shouting out about Beast.
Yeah. And feeling bad and talking later to people that this is hearsay, but saying oh, I felt like such a jerk, that I in different terms that I broke up like that, and there are people no, man, come on, man, you weren't here last year. You weren't here last year, and this means so much to you, and we totally understand how you feel. This is your baby. You built this thing, and it's it's made it 10 years, 25 years for the company, and all these people are here to see you, and you're here finally. You know what I mean? You weren't here last year, and yeah, it was huge, man. It was just so huge. It was
I mean,
great.
we're in a day and age where, sometimes we'll complain about these big corporations that, are working on properties that you love that maybe it doesn't feel like they care. Like they're just in it to make money.
Yeah.
And those kind of moments, like him being up there and choking up a bit, it shows you how important this is to them. And that trickles down through the entire community.
Yeah.
So
at this point, he's doing his job. He could sit back, he could do his job and just like rake in whatever they're raking in. It's they're not millionaires, but like just the fact that means so much to him to be there. Like, that's the heart of it, man. That's the heart of it. And it made everybody feel good. And yeah, it was great. It was great to see him for sure. So happy.
Bill, as somebody that's been, around the toy community for a while and you've seen, a lot of different conventions and that kind of stuff, and just this, different toy collecting and stuff, like, can you talk just a little bit about what their ownership team and how they handle their business, like how different that is maybe than other places?
There's no comparison. There's no one else like it. It's funny because I think back to some early My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me episodes. I mean, maybe not early for them, but like early for when I first started listening to them. And Legions was like the customizing community was starting to come about. And I remember CB on the show, and they were like not too sure how to approach the whole thing. Like CB was like, we want to protect our property. We're not so sure about all the all of the like third party 3D printers, and they weren't really sure where to go with it. And they chose the path of like, like
something
embracing
in the background.
it. I'm not sure who's,
but yeah, playing some music or something.
They chose the path to embrace that. And I feel like that was like a major, point where like that it really set the stage for everything that has happened with them in this community and LegionsCon specifically. And then that whole, just like the whole customizer, fan friendly, pop and swapping, welcoming in the newcomers, like that whole kind of vibe of the whole thing. I feel like it came out of that decision.
Yeah. I just seeing like Treadaway walk around the con for the last 2 years and look at all the different creators and like just be in awe of what they've done with some of the figures that he's created. Like you can see like this stuff means a ton to them, and they love the community. It's not just a transactional relationship. So very cool. Well, guys, this is, I've kept you for a long time. We're nearing out 3 hours. I'm sure there's going to be tons more Mythic and Legions content over the next few weeks with a bunch of shows. Tomorrow, Saturday Day Live, is it 3 p.m. Eastern?
Yep.
Brian?
Yes, sir.
3 p.m. Eastern. We got PGG tomorrow night. Sunday, we're going to have Latin Legions. We also have our Shooting the Shelf with all the couples. We're going to have couples galore on Sunday. So, yeah, tune in for all that stuff. It's going to be fun. Trevor, you guys back I know you just did kind of a impromptu show. Are you back this Monday? Or
I think we're going to do a show Monday. Yeah, I think we're going to do a show with some new people to the Joe, if you're available.
Monday? Yeah.
Monday. Okay. People who've just been to the show for the first time, so we'll see how that goes.
Joe's like my Padawan. He doesn't turn down show opportunities. So
I don't actively seek them out like Curtis.
Yeah, but if it's offered, yeah.
Are you guys you guys aren't doing Quest Monday, or are you?
Here's how this works. I'm gonna give you a little insight, Bill, before Trevor.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here's the thing. Legions Lounge is the top tier show. Okay.
Yeah.
And Legion's Quest is like the bastard stepchild. Okay. Yes. So we get to do an episode whenever you guys aren't. So if Trevor decides that he wants to, for the next 4 Mondays, do Legion's Lounges, then we just don't do an episode.
We could pick another day. That's the
so here's the question. If Trevor decides to cancel a Legion's Lounge, does Joe have to like quickly whip up a campaign?
We actually had one of those. We had one that we were not going to do because you guys were going to do an episode, and then he said they couldn't get some guests lined up or something, and we kind of impromptu threw one together. So
you guys ready for a peek behind the curtain?
Sure.
So you think Joe is the puppet master, but I'm really the puppet
really
master.
Trevor,
I just
right.
like ready go.
Trevor,
Come on.
Trevor's the schedule master,
I'm
and
the puppet master,
Joe goes,
but
I'm going to
Trevor
kill him
holds
for
the
that.
wheels on the cart.
Yeah.
So I actually am super busy and don't do that much prep. Most of my prep work for the game is mental. You should see me like 15 minutes before we start, just scrambling, trying to get.
That sounds like me as a teacher.
Yeah, the encounters dialed up. It's like I know what's going to happen already, but I have to get all like the physical stuff ready. So it's really easy to just pick up and go. And these guys make it easy because they'll spend 20 minutes on something that should take 2 minutes and stuff like that. So it's easy to fill 2 hours.
You're going to be on the Noob Show with Joe, so prepare
Very
yourself.
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. We got, I'm sorry, down in front, Jeff. Were you also inquiring about a Noob Show? Is that what that is?
Sort of. Always.
Do you want to be on the Noob Show, Jeff?
Please, Trevor.
Okay, you got it.
Very nice.
You give me 4. You got to be. You give me basically 5 out of 5 of your favorite things from.
That's true.
Look, you're in. You're in.
Stop kissing his ass, Jeff. Jesus.
Look at the bribery. The bribery going on.
Trevor, I don't know if you know, I'm kind of new to the community as well.
I know. Yeah. And welcome too. It's great. It's great to have you.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, tune in for all the Legions content the weekend. Guys, thank you for everything this past weekend. I love all of you guys on screen and the people that are in the chat. It was an amazing weekend. Can't wait for next year. My piece of advice I'm going to leave you guys with is don't wait 12 months. Stay in touch. We got Legions chat on Friday nights. We got Customizing Studio on Sundays. We've got tons of Mythic shows. Be in touch with people. Be friends with folks. Holiday season, post-con, Legions Blues, whatever. Don't let it hit you. Don't let it be alone. Don't suffer in silence. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. And with that, we will close out the show. See ya.
Joe.